Hello, everybody. Let us know if you can see us and hear us all right. With me, I have the lovely, the beautiful Amber Alise.
Hello.
I also have, at least from my perspective, next is Brago from BDA Law.
What's happening? What's happening? Good to be here. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Murphy.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Sure.
And of course, JD Legend with us again. In this chat here, you can say hi too. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, hi. What's up? How y'all doing?
So in the chat, we have
man.
Amber, Alise, and I just finished Golden Age, like very recently. We're still not well. And then we have
A lot.
Jay. Yes, it's a lot. And then we have Jay and Brago, who y'all have read the series and just did a reread in preparation for the stream, right?
Yeah.
So how long ago was it that each of you read it?
When
I want
did
to say like
Berserk?
10 years ago,
10 years ago?
maybe even like because I watched it like 15 years ago, but I read it about 2 years afterwards. So I'm just gonna say between like 10 to 15 years ago.
Okay.
You watched like the old
God, insane, man.
1990s?
Yeah, I watched the old. I watched the
Yeah.
1990s, then I watched the movies, then
Yeah.
I read it.
Yeah, that was my route too. I would say I read it
was?
8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe 6 years ago, something like that. But it was a time when I was kind of losing my joy for One Piece a little bit. Just how things are playing out, and I just needed something different. And tried Berserk, and it just gave my joy back. So I want to say probably 6 years ago, something like that.
Going through the deepest depression made you.
Yeah. But I felt like I needed it. It was just a beautiful story, a beautiful tragedy is what I call it. So yeah, around then.
So how do you find it on reread? For each of you, do you find that you appreciate it in a different way than the first time?
I definitely appreciate it in a different way. I think it also reminds me why it is literally, to me, my favorite arc in the story, especially Golden Age, and also just how Miura writes his imagery, realizing that no one can match him on double page spreads, that no one can match him on like facial expressions and like storytelling with very little dialogue. It's just like when I'm reading it, I'm just like I'm a much smarter person. I'm more educated on like storytelling now. So as I'm looking at it again, I'm like, oh, this guy really is. I was selling him short, which is crazy to say considering selling Miura short. So like for me, it's been great. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait to make a video on this because this has been different.
Yeah. I think the reread, like initially reading it is just like it's an escape, right? Just something different, different tone, different setting. On the reread, it feels like a tragic love story.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
Amber, Alise.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's so many different connections and threads there between different characters, but it feels more like a love story because I'm taking more time. Like I already know what happens, so like I'm paying attention to the characters a bit more, and I think that's what I see on the reread more.
Go ahead, Amber.
No, I completely agree. I read a ton of romance books and I watch a ton of romance movies, and I love a lot of tragic ones. I think out of everything I've read, this with the judo situation, and then you also have Guts and Costco. Like there's so many things that happen, but that judo part where in the moment that we find out he's not only going to die, which killed me, but that he also had this love for Casca that he not only hid, but that he also still wanted to make sure she was loved by allowing her to still be with Guts.
Yep.
That to me is the most tragic love story I've ever seen. And it hit me. It's one of the hardest things that hit me in this story. And I loved it. It was done so well. And I'll never forget it. It will always hit me.
Yeah, as I was watching through your videos, Amber, Alise, you were so honed in on the romance. A big aspect for me was trying to figure out the dynamics between the three, because like each was so loyal to each other, like Guts really found his purpose in Griffith, as well as his dream of being next to him, Casca's loyalty to Griffith, and then that friction of back and forth between them, and then of course Guts and Casca. Their dynamic between the three of them was so complicated and ever moving in my mind, especially with when everything toppled with Griffith, like when Guts walked away and then Griffith just spun out of control.
Yes.
Right. And like figuring out, he clearly cared for Guts. He clearly like respected him. Like he said at the fountain that he didn't consider him a friend because he didn't respect him because he didn't have his own dream. Brago, I'm really curious about your thoughts on this because we talked about this a little bit before, but I think he did. And I think that was a mask for like saying what he thought Charlotte wanted to hear in order for her to admire him. And that was never meant to be heard by Guts because I think it was clear that he really did respect Guts and really was letting him in. And so when Guts left, it was like betrayal of the person that I trusted above anyone else.
Yeah, I think with Griffith, he's an interesting character because he says things like that, but then he talks to Casca about, I have my dreams, but I don't want to remain clean whilst everybody else is unclean. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So it's almost like there's care there, but I think he's still trying to sift through his feelings. And the person above all is Guts. And so, like you said, he's trying to impress Charlotte, but I don't think he realized just how much Guts meant to him until that final that battle they had where he really didn't want Guts to go.
Yes.
And at that moment, it's so much emotion, you losing in front of the people that care about you, Guts walking away without turning back, without looking back, Casca seeing that, even her saying to herself, do I want him to leave? I think I want him to stay. And Griffith dealing with all of those emotions at the same time. So I think he definitely respected Guts more than he thought.
Yeah.
But you didn't realize it until it left.
Yeah.
So
to me,
that was impactful for him.
Big impact. Yes. It was, to me, there was this mask off scene where like, I think Griffith is constantly being what he thinks other people want him to be. And there's a lot of authenticity tangled into it, but it's also, I am who I need you to think I am so that you'll be loyal to me. And there was a scene where it was after they burned everybody alive and then Guts and Griffith were alone together and Griffith asked him, am I dirty? Or no, he asked him, do you think I'm cruel? And Guts was like, you don't have to do that with me.
Yeah. What's all that? He's like, what's all that? Like,
yeah, exactly.
He's asking Guts, like, I have you doing all the dirty work. Like, how do you feel about that? He's like, you don't have to do all that. Like,
yeah.
That's
and Guts was like, don't do that with me.
Yeah.
You ordered me to do it. I did it. What? Like, to me, that was the moment for Griffith where he realized, oh, this is a friendship, not what I thought it was.
But Guts had already resigned himself to kind of to kind of be out at that point. Like, this is the last hurrah. It's over. So it's just everything kind of crumbling in on itself at the same time.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's like you can watch the dominoes fall after a certain point.
Yeah, even Casca. I mean, I think she's like obviously a key part to all this. Like, I would say her development, her initial view of Guts until they fell over and then he had to protect her from the bandits and everything he was willing to sacrifice. Just even her, you can say her evolution in a way, seeing him in a different light while Guts was looking at himself in a different light, trying to find purpose, and Griffith, he still had his own purpose and things he was trying to figure out. And he didn't see any of it because they were already saying, like, it feels like he's so far away, and all these things were happening and he didn't realize it. So it was like, it's just like just seeing, like you said, the dominoes fall and it felt like there's nothing they could do to stop it. I mean, the catalyst for all of it felt like that conversation that Griffith had with Charlotte that Guts overheard, because it just sent him into a spiral where now it's like, all right, maybe I do need purpose. So,
yeah. And I think that conversation, I wonder, do you think it even drove Guts and Casca together a little bit? Because they both overheard that and they both were hurt by it, and like they both went into that battle weak because of it. So I wonder, or because they weren't in their right minds, and then that brought them to the cave, which bonded them.
I think it was confirmation for Casca. I feel like she already felt that because they said it was almost like worship how she looked at Griffith. I feel like for Guts, it was almost like a realization of something that he didn't know he needed. He's like, what? I thought we were kind of all in this together. Of course, it's your goal, your dream, we're following you. But it's like, damn, do I need purpose? Is that what I need to be your friend?
Yeah.
And it's almost like opening a can of worms that you can't close. Because then he's just thinking about, okay, maybe this is what I need to do to stand beside you. So I think for Casca, confirmation. For Guts, it was just almost like a whole new world. Yeah. Like,
yeah, do you think it was kind of like an acceptance on her part a little bit?
That's I think so. But I feel like even with Guts and even him trying to leave, she started to consider it. Even after they rescued Griffith and he came back, was like, yo, come with me. Like maybe this can happen. And after seeing his state, she's like, I can't leave him. So it was a lot. It was a lot after that conversation that both characters went through. But like you said, that conversation that they overheard and then them getting stuck in that cave, that definitely, kind of got them closer. Because if you're up here and Griffith, you're saying that you're separated from these two, now they're like, all right, if we're on the same level, they're automatically bonding now, and of course they're finding out more about each other through like proximity and stuff like that. So
right.
Yeah, that's part of what drove them together. But also Casca, she was jealous of Guts more than anything.
The entire time.
Right? Yeah. It was jealousy more than anything. So for her, I think understanding Guts on another level and what he was willing to do, it was something beautiful. And I think even after Guts came back and they were about to save Griffith, Casca said something to Guts that was I thought it was like, she's spitting. She said I gave you a wound. She said, I want you to give me a wound as well. Like, it's just their bond and the growth of it and where it started. I think it's one of the most beautiful things in the story, like by far, like Casca and Guts. Great.
I think even kind of the way Amber Elise said it as well, like at the very beginning, where she was the one that warmed Guts up for 2 days, 2 nights straight, 2 days and 2 nights. When he first ran into the Band of Hog, he lost to Griffith, and then all the way to him joining the Band of Hog. And one of the pages that really struck out to me that made me think, I wonder what she's thinking. When Guts had I think he had his first battle with the Band of Hawk, and Judal had that conversation with him, and then he was thinking to himself, like, Judal told him, like, you'll find a place where you belong. Then he had that conversation with Griffith where you're seeing Judo's explanation of, we don't really know who Griffith is. We don't know if he's good or evil. We don't know what he wants. We don't know anything. This guy is really like a magician at one point, then he's a child at the other point. Next thing you know, everyone's following him and he just pulls magic out of his hat. So it's like, we just want to see where he's going. So Guts is hearing all this and he's like, okay, who is this Griffith guy? And then you see the water fight that they have, and Childish, and it's the first time you really see them be friends. And then Guts, after that whole experience, after everything that happened with Gambino, he's standing outside by the water and looking up, and he's like, a place where I belong. I guess I can stay here. Then he gets pushed in the water by Rickett. Rickett is like, congratulations on your first battle, whatever. And he's like, you can call me Guts. And Pippin pulls up, Rickett falls into the water. They're having this all fun time, all that build up, all that moment. And then as that chapter ends, you just look up to the top and Casca's watching everything with like just one expression, just like an expression of curiosity. Like, and the fact that she's been paying attention to him and his growth from that point on, to get to where we are, is like, okay, so it just makes me think that maybe because Griffith was such a magnanimous figure in her life, she always had those feelings for Guts, considering, you know how, you know, they say like romantic couples, they're playful fighting, they're always fighting again. Like Guts goes off on his own, and she's like, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" And then the guys are like, "Oh, they about to fight again." Like they about to fight, and I'm just like, this whole back and forth thing that they're going on is like, I think she always had feelings for him, but because Griffith had such a presence, she was like, "Well, I got Griffith, so this don't mean nothing." But she doesn't realize what's going on inside her, the fact that she's on him so much.
You think she always
like
had feelings for him?
I feel like she was trying to say things that she felt Griffith would say in the moment. I feel like she was like almost protecting Griffith. Like when Griffith was with all the nobles, and then they're like, "All right, it's a line," and Gus like, "Ain't no line, man. We just gonna walk up," and then she like punches him, and she's like, "Why are you this way?"
No,
you know, where it's like she's like, "You have to be this way. We have to be this type of way for Griffith. Like, why are you doing this?" So I feel like for her, she feels like she was the one kind of helping them to uphold his dream, and I think for Griffith, he saved her, right? And I think from the first time she laid eyes on him, he was probably everything she would want. But I think for Guts and the evolution and the development, kind of seeing it, I think feelings started to develop through that development with Guts, and also like the time that they spent together. I don't think she had feelings for Guts right from the beginning. Because I think she did. I don't think she liked him, honestly.
No. Okay, but there's one of those. Okay, but there are them things, right? And I believe you read all these romance novels, so this is a trope. It's a trope, where it's like they don't know they like them, but they do. And I'm saying that I think it's one of those things where it's like you have every reason to hate this person, but you also have this feeling that you hate the feeling that you have for him, which makes you hate him more. And I think that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's headcanon. I don't know, bro, but
I think she loved how, or she was envious of how Griffith treated Guts, and I think that's what she wanted.
She wanted to be his sword.
She wanted to be that.
Everything to try to be perfect for him.
And Guts did everything wrong.
Goes up, smelly, stinky, out of order, doing everything wrong.
And Griffith's willing to do anything for him.
And he'll do anything for him.
Anything.
And Casca's just like the disrespect.
Like, after the Zod fight, when Griffith went in and got really hurt, just like, "Yo, why would he jump in for you? You're the reason why all this happened."
Why for you? Not only that, but like you're putting his dream at risk. He cares about you more than me. Like, I think she hated him. I think she
hated his guts.
She hated it. She hated it.
I think she hated it.
Jay!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think she just wished she wished she was him.
That is true. That is what I think. That's what
I agree with that.
And I think just like with already the affinity that Griffith had for Guts, that she's envious of, and then finding out who Guts truly is, it was just like all that culminated where she's like, "Damn, I guess I see what Griffith sees." And so it's just like all that culminated where now she's starting to develop feelings for Guts. So I don't know. I don't think she was feeling him initially, bro.
I feel like she was that way with Griffith too. I don't think she was in love with Griffith at all. There's a scene on Grey's Anatomy that I love because you have these two doctors at one point who fall in love, and at the end of it, when they break up, she says, "I realize I never wanted to be with you. I wanted to be you." And sometimes that's how I felt it was like with Casca. And a lot of times when you're in these positions, like I'm thinking of corporate America, but there's a lot of times when you're like the only woman in a situation and you're around a lot of men in power, where because you want what they can exude, what the positions they have, it's so easy to think that you're falling in love with them when really you're like, no, I want what you have. I want that. I want to be able to live that. And sometimes I feel like that's what Casca was going through. But at the same time, I don't think she knew her why, her purpose for a lot of it. Why do I even want to do this? That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of them. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, go ahead, bro. No, go ahead.
Well, I was saying like purpose, like Amber was saying with like a lot of them, some of them had it, but I think for Casca, she was just blinded by who Griffith was, and she was just all in on his dream. And it goes back to the fact that he was the one who saved her and brought her out of her struggle. And so she felt like every day she had to somewhat repay him. And that makes me think of something Griffith said to Guts. He said, do I need a reason why I save you every time?
Yeah.
Right. And it was just like something that Guts was like, oh shit. Right. And it made me say the same thing. I was like when you do something for a friend, do you need a reason every time?
Right.
Mhm.
And
Like
Guts
somebody
had
did
never
that.
been shown that kind of loyalty, affection,
Right.
care, anything.
Mhm.
So for him, it's like,
Mhm.
wait, I'm valuable just because?
I
Yeah.
don't need a reason every time. It's just because you're you. That's it.
That's
And it's just like,
totally
you know,
foreign in his life. It's like, it's
Yeah.
so unsurprising to me, the reason why people are loyal to Griffith. Like, you can call a character an enigma. You can call a character dashing and also mysterious and charismatic, but also sharp edged and brutal and cruel. Like, you can call a character a lot of things and then say we're all drawn to him. Cool. But to make the reader just as drawn, like to make the reader actually draw closer to, because we don't understand him either, and we want to. And the closer we get, we see him being exactly what the story is telling us he is. For Casca, he rescued her from a horrible fate, and he gave her a purpose, and he gave her a sword, and he gave her a blanket. He was her comfort, and he was her guide, and he was her savior. And then for Guts, he was the one person that showed him any kind of love, any kind of affection, any kind of like value. And he gave him a purpose. He was wandering. He was laying on the ground after being chased away from his home and fighting off a bunch of wolves, laying on the ground, looking up the sky, saying, do I have a place in this world?
Yeah.
Is there a purpose for me?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
he was given that purpose by Griffith. So like, you can see how he fills whatever role a person desperately needs filled in their lives so that they'll devote themselves completely to him.
Yeah.
Amber,
agree.
speaking
Yes,
of Griffith, I watched your journey, and oh boy, did you have a journey with Griffith.
I hate that we even have to discuss him, but I know we can't get through
We
this
have to.
discussion
He's got to be one
without.
of the best antagonists in all of fiction.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, Griffith and
Also-
I did not get along.
Oh, you didn't like Griffith?
You don't
Oh,
like
I got-
him?
no, y'all,
Oh.
I need you to see this journey she went on. So Amber Elise, you started with Black Swordsman. So like, you saw him in the God Hand.
I
And
did.
yet, lads, her whole way through her read through, she's like, Griffith, prove to me that you're good. Show me something here. Like, give me something, because I don't know about you. So please take us through your journey with Griffith.
Well, here's the thing. I try to just keep an open mind because I don't know. I don't have all the evidence presented to me, right? Yes, may his name be forgotten. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that whatever he did, I'm going to hate. But hopefully there's some kind of logical basis, some kind of logical reasoning as to why he did it. Or and it was reaching because you could clearly see from the count that it wasn't going to be anything that, that marvelous. But I still had hope. And I felt so deceived because as we're going through this, he's definitely doing sketchy things that I don't love. But we are getting this side of him where we can't fully read him, but he's clearly gathering this group of people who they don't understand. We're the readers and we're not following everything he's doing, right? But we're trying to put some kind of trust in him, and they are with him and they still don't know everything, and they're putting some kind of trust in him. So I'm like, okay, if these people who I love, Judo, Pippin, Crocus, even though he's crazy,
I hate
Gut-
Crocus. Yeah.
Me too!
We hate Crocus in this house. Go
That's
ahead.
right.
Oh no, I may be the only one. I ended up loving him. I
think
understand.
Wait,
he's a
hold on,
truth-
hold
I
on,
think
hold
he's a
on.
truth
You
teller.
hate Griffith. You hate Griffith, but you like Crocus?
He is.
I think he's a truth teller, man.
Crocus?
Stop!
He says what people are thinking in the moment that nobody wants to say.
Thank you. You can't say he's real. Like, he is honest.
He's honest.
He
He's honest.
He's He's trash. That's what he is.
Maybe so, but he's honest.
He's always
Honest
speaking
trash.
when no one wants to hear his voice.
Nobody wants to hear him talk, bro. He's just yapping. That's all he does is yap.
But that's who he is. He's just being himself. You like I have to respect it. And you see that he's more you see that he's more layered as time goes on. And that like I think what sold me on him was whenever Guts was about to leave the Band of the Hawk and he was being so mean to him, but you could tell it's because he had so much love.
He wanted him to stay.
He wanted him to stay.
But he can't come out and say it. And even when everything happened to Griffith, he's like, that didn't happen because of you. You know that, right? I was like, God, bro. But he's kind of a hater. But it's like he's somebody he definitely cared about Guts leaving, but he didn't want to say it. That's the type of person he was. But like I said, he's partly trash, but I think he's,
even to the end of his death, he was him. He still had that little Corcus way of like, am I saying his name right? Corcus?
You saying it right.
Corcus.
Okay.
Corcus,
yeah. He had this way of like, I don't know. He was so authentically who he was. And I love characters like that. Even if he's annoying, he's authentically annoying. And so Hey,
Amber, Elise, what are your thoughts on Griffith?
Oh, Griffith. Yeah.
Griffith.
I don't like him. But you want more details? Yeah. So Griffith, we got to see different sides of him. Now, when he got to the Charlotte part, I was done with him. I was already like, I was
after
good.
Guts leaves.
Yes. After Guts leaves and he does whatever he does with Charlotte, I was good. Like
he does
that whole. I didn't like. He seemed so weak to me in that moment, and I know he was going through losing Guts. We all lose people. That's not how you respond. Especially as a leader, especially as like you can have your pain, but then to take advantage of somebody like that, in the end, I mean, some people say that she said no, right? And she didn't want it. Some people say that she was okay with it. To me, it doesn't matter. You knew how naive she was. You knew how much she liked you and admired you. And you took advantage of that because you weren't feeling good about yourself. That is such a weak thing to me. And I can't respect it. And it only led to me seeing more things about him that I just couldn't respect. And then it just got 10 times worse. And now I don't even speak his name unless I have to.
I think it was him trying to exert control. He felt out of control. And so he was trying to grasp at control in a place where he knew he could.
Yeah, I get it. But it's.
I think it just hurt people, you know? And I think it's the situation where somebody goes through a bad breakup, then they go to the bar and they just try to exert that pain in another way. And I think for him, like you said, he took advantage of her, but I think it's just he didn't know how else to kind of deal with that. Like he's not right for how he handled things, but I think that, like you said, Amber, kind of exposed Griffith for how kind of weak and frail he always was. Because even I think it was Casca said it about Griffith, that Griffith, it's not that he's strong, is that he finds a way to be strong every day, finds different ways to be strong. And I think losing Guts, that kind of broke him, you know, and it's no surprise that was like the beginning of his demise from that point forward. So I wouldn't say I was done with him after that, but it was just that was kind of the beginning of the end for sure.
Jay, thoughts on Griffith? I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go Jay. Go Jay.
So I actually agree with your assessment of Griffith during the Charlotte thing because I thought it was weak. I thought it was really weak. And I think the way I saw it was he loved Guts, but he always viewed Guts as his like favorite possession, like the biggest shiny toy he'd ever received.
He said, "You belong to me" when he's about to leave.
Yeah. He said, "You belong to me." Mm-hmm. I'll never forget the phrase where he told Guts. Guts was the first person I think in the Band of the Hawks. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That actually knew what Griffith's ambition was, because Judo said, "We don't even know what Griffith really wants, but we're just following him." And then you see Griffith tell Guts, "I want to build a kingdom, and I'm going to choose the place where you die." So that whole idea of Guts being a possession, but his favorite possession, you know how kids can be with their favorite toy, like nobody can touch it, nobody can look at it. It's got to be taken care of. If there's a scratch on it, they're crying for hours. So like, it was a friendship, but Griffith in his mind always knew, like, all right, Guts is never going to leave me, right? This is my possession. He's going to be my key to everything I need. So when Guts basically gained sentience to Griffith is like, wait a minute, my possession, my most prized possession is leaving. And it's like, he threw a tantrum. It's like a child throwing a
brat. Yeah.
By a spoiled brat, and he threw a tantrum. And the first thing kids do when they throw a tantrum is just they go to try and find something else. Yeah, they just crash out. So in that moment, it's like, yeah, he was garbage. But in that moment, I just think it's like it's been building up so much because Miura has been writing Griffith as this child that's just so much bravado, that believes like this childlike ambition I have just to have a kingdom is going to take me all the way. But at the end of the day, he never really became an adult.
And he's been winning
that
also.
Yeah.
It's a lot of W's.
Huge.
Right?
That's the thing, isn't it? Like, he acted recklessly by going to Charlotte like that and ended up throwing everything away, when if he had just stayed on track, he probably
was right there.
He was there. He was on track. It wouldn't have changed.
Her, like after that, because he's about he probably marries her, right? Like,
I mean, he probably could have killed the king and then just married her.
Yeah, but that one night that he threw it all away.
Well, this is a thing, and I think y'all made great points that do make me think. But the reason why I get his pain and that was a big thing for him, but when you continue, if you allow a person to, like, if they get to do something like that to me is it's very off-putting. And you're like, but he was going through this, then it's going to be, but now it's going to keep escalating because there's no stopping it. It's more like trying to process why. I don't need, like, there were so many other avenues he could have taken. And the whole thing with Griffith in general that bothers me is its choices that he makes. He continues. And yes, this was an early start to me, not liking him and maybe jumping the board, but it did inevitably lead to him being what I thought he was. Because if you're willing to take those steps, like, I could already read him. I was like, oh, I kind of see how you are. Yeah. Like, I see
flags early.
Yeah. To be clear, Griffith going to Charlotte that night was disgusting. Like, so us talking about what was going on in his head is not saying, oh, he was feeling bad. So like,
it's not justifying it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But I'm saying why I personally, for me, why it was like I was open-minded to seeing what actions he would take because I didn't know. But as far as like how I was looking at him, like his personal character and his morality, that's where I was kind of done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I didn't, and even try to do it again, kind of.
With Casca.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering about that when I read it. I was like, is he just trying to do that again and he just can't?
Yeah, it was strange. It was strange.
Yeah,
but that's just,
I mean, it's he was completely out of control. So he's just going back to the same bit. Cam said, I hope Griffith gets the worst ending possible and Guts at least gets a bittersweet ending because I doubt he will have a happy ending.
No.
Doesn't feel like the kind of story that would give us
a
happy ending.
So Amber, did you feel bad for Griffith after he went through that year of torture? Because he got torn up pretty bad. That was pretty bad. That was that was a lot.
Especially when the king is he creep himself.
Yeah, like
he's a that's a whole other thing.
Whether she felt bad for him or not. Like, don't think about what he did after, right? Don't think about what he did after, right? Just only think about in that moment. Did you feel bad for him?
I'm trying to remember. Did I feel? I think I did not like the level of torture that he got. I can say that. The nail.
It felt a little excessive.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Just
More excessive.
slightly excessive.
But that kid, when he pulled back the sheet, he was, oh no.
Well,
Like, you
it's
have
to
torture.
Brago's point. The fact that the king was disgusting, like as a person, and had the audacity to torture Griffith like
Wild.
that was crazy.
Wild. That dude is wild, man.
Disgusting.
Nasty old man.
Yep. I felt so bad for her. It was like back to back. That poor child.
I know.
Yeah, Charlotte, she was going through it.
She was going through it.
Here's the thing, though. You hated the king even more than Griffith because, well, one, because he was her father, but two,
Yeah.
because we have no context for the king. Like, he's barely a character. He kind of just showed up, did something despicable, and then left.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I don't know. The Griffith scene, I felt had narrative weight. The king scene, I'm like, why do we even have to do that? But with Griffith, it's like there's so much complexity to him, you know,
Yeah.
that it's like you want to understand the mind, even if you can, even if you would condemn the act, you know. Whereas with the king, it's like, why? Go, like, no.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
It was possessive to the point that he's like almost on another level. Like
Ugh.
Griffith was like, you belong to me. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. It was the king was strange. I mean, but I know, like, we're talking about like how terrible Griffith was, but they're like some good moments with Griffith. Like,
Yes.
I mean, how he handled Julius, that whole plan.
Yeah.
I did like that, unfortunately.
Wait, are you talking about the assassination plot?
Yes.
You liked it when he killed the kid?
I know, oh my God, that wasn't Griffith.
I think the kid was
What?
just
What?
What you gonna
collateral
say now, Brandon?
damage.
Yo.
It only took
Collateral
him 36
damage.
minutes. It only took him 36 minutes.
36 minutes until now he's
was
back
going
to
too
defending
well.
atrocities.
Well,
Here we
Julius
go,
had
bro.
to go though. He had to go.
Yeah,
Right?
He did have to go.
He did. He
Julius is
did.
not alive.
But Guts
Julius
didn't
was out of
mean
line.
to kill the kid. And then Julius was abusing the kid. You know, like,
So we killed the kid?
what about of his misery? No, I'm not saying we killed the kid. He didn't mean to kill the kid. R.I.P.
But he's
Unfortunately.
like, but he kind of like I mean, I know he didn't see, but he drove that kid through a wall with a knife.
Gus is
with
strong.
a sword.
No, Brago, that's not the
Gus
takeaway.
is strong. Like, I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't know.
Look, since we're on this is actually okay. I do want to talk about scenes, like most impactful scenes for the hype or for the emotion or whatever, because this scene actually makes the list for me, specifically because of Guts' reaction, like the way that he after he's done it, the way that he looks at his hand and then like his eyes there. Because I don't know if you remember this, but in Black Swordsman, he basically does the same thing when after he saves Teresa after she was falling, and in the bottom right-hand corner, he looks at his hand and then like has that kind of anxious moment again or as well. And that was one of those scenes that hit me like a truck with the little boy, because after he had unintentionally harmed a child, which you know Guts would never want to do.
No.
And then he looks at what he's just done and it hits him.
Yeah.
And then it recontextualizes what happened with Teresa and why he had such a visceral reaction to harming her, even though he was trying to hurt her, but he still harmed her with his sword.
Yeah.
And the fact that from there on, he saw himself as a monster. And he was right. Like he did. He took an order. I want you to kill someone. Great. I don't need details. I'll go kill someone. And he just does. And he doesn't think about it. And anyone else that happens to walk through the door is collateral damage. And when it's a child, it's like, oh, this is what I've done.
This is kind of like, this happens. This is part of the collateral. And you don't think about it necessarily because it's like no name, no face. But then once you see it's a child, it's like you said, it all hits you. And it's like, yeah, I guess this is who I am. And especially when you think about like how Griffith feels about it, it makes you question everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. You know, R.I.P. homie.
Well, what do you guys think would have been Guts' solution if he would have known the kid was about to walk in? Like, what would you have done, or what would you think that he would have done?
He could have fled.
Kidnapped, hostage. There's a few things. I mean, I know I said that lightly, but like he's alive, but it's like at this point it's like a political hostage. There's ways to keep him alive.
I think at that point you can't leave the kid. You got to take the kid. And if you take the kid's gonna die. Because Griffith's gonna kill the kid.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Why do you think Griffith would have killed the kid? He allowed kids to fight with him.
Yeah, but I don't think that kid. You think that kid would have stayed with the Band of the Hawk? I mean, possibly. But
Under
then it's
Griffith's
like,
influence. He's
but
pretty
it's
good
like-
at winning hearts.
but then that's it leaves it open ended and it trails right back to Griffith. And then I don't know if you can leave that. Do you send him away? I don't know.
I feel like at the point that the kid was in the doorway and still in shadows, Guts could have gone out and not
But
have
then,
been seen well enough to be identified.
but at that point, does Guts know how well the kid saw his face?
Sure.
That's
And
what
then he
I
goes
was
back.
wondering.
Yeah, he goes back. He's like, "Well, a kid saw me. I don't know if he saw my face." Then it's like,
Yeah. It could have
So-
messed everything up. You're not wrong.
yeah. So either you take the kid, or you kill the kid.
Mr. Brago.
I mean that's like you. Griffith gave Guts a goal to go and kill the king's brother. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If Guts is seen. But the thing is though, he plowed through so many people after that. Like he went big sword go bird.
and then Adonis, he was in line to the throne, right?
I don't know about all that.
Honestly, two birds.
No, but he killed so many soldiers. Like you cannot tell me that he made it out of that without being identified. I just don't believe that the kid identifying him after everything that went on after and everybody that saw him after would have actually made a difference.
Didn't he kill everybody that saw him?
I don't think all of them. It was like it was a slaughter, but there were other people around.
Because he had a hood, right? I mean,
I mean, it is funny that we talk about like how tragic it is that the boy was killed, and it is, but also like hundreds others. Like Guts went
like
on a
what
killing
puts
spree
his
a
like
few
life
times.
over? I guess because he's a kid, you kind of like you
Well, and
value
because
it,
the
but-
narrative focused on the emotional weight
right.
that it had on Guts, so we feel it more
Yeah.
than just a bunch of bodies. Which, just in general, there's a lot of death, a lot of needless death. Omega Studios wants to recommend Kingdom. Have any of y'all read that?
I love Kingdom. I love it.
The greatest binge ever.
One of the greatest, no, arguably the greatest binge ever.
Greatest binge ever.
100%. So good.
You don't stop reading Kingdom once you start.
You don't. I'm caught. It's 800 chapters in. I am caught up, and it's still good. Still.
Kingdom is
And the live action real good too. The live action is. I don't know if you've seen the
Really?
live action.
I haven't seen the
Brago,
live
but you
action.
got it.
I haven't seen.
It's the only anime live action that I'd give like an 8, 9 out of 10. It's good, man. It's good.
Yeah, check that
So-
out. Kingdom's great.
That is one of the most emotionally impactful scenes among many others. Do y'all have any that really stand out to you?
I have one that's really small,
Go for
but
it.
I think about it all the time. It's right before they're about to. I forgot this man's name intentionally. The one who he looks like the cart Titan from Attack on Titan. He has the. I cannot think of.
I'm
his
a
name.
wild.
Yes.
Oh, Murphy loves Wild. He loves Wild. It's her favorite character.
Jay, I'm gonna stop talking to you behind the scenes. Boy. Amberly's asked for emotional scenes, not worse scenes.
Well, yeah, that was he was a terrible character.
Go ahead.
But yeah, Guts was about to take him on or take on like his group. That's when they were all charging them and they weren't prepared, like the Band of the Hawk. And so he was saying, "Go ahead, I'll go." And then he like looks to his side and Pippin is right next to him. And I just cried. I thought because Pippin to me was such a like just a loyal, sweet character.
Soldier.
Yes.
Yes, a
Gentle
man of
soldier.
few
Yep.
words. but he
Mhm.
always showed up when it was time. And he was the only one. And I know they're all doing stuff, right? But he was the only one to just stand by him.
Yeah.
And it just, I think about it all the time. I thought it
He's
was so
also the
sweet.
one that when Guts didn't want to join the band, when he was like, "No, I'm not partying with y'all," and he
You picked him up.
Picked him up,
he put the
elbowed him in the
his hand.
mouth, and he still kept going. He's like, "All right,
What
so
about
you're not
He
stopping.
did.
You don't have a choice.
You're not
Sorry,
gonna stop."
buddy.
He's been his best boy.
Hmm.
I think one that we can all agree on is when Teresia still lashed out at Guts after he saved her, and the sad look on his face as he walked away, and Puck seeing it for the first time and realizing Guts genuinely has emotions and he was hurt. Like that face he made actually hurt my feelings a lot. Like I was
That's
really
Black
sad.
Swordsman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Black Swords. Oh yeah, but that carried on. That's just the first moment that comes to my mind. But another one as well is, I wouldn't say like it got me emotional, but it made me smile. And you remember when Griffith was holding up the Behelit for the first time, when he was talking to Guts and they were having that conversation, and
Yeah.
that French, yeah, the friendship that they had, and how the conversation with Judo was talking about how he can turn into a child at any moment. And then York instantly cashes in on that. You see him act like a child in that moment where he just seems like a little boy who just found a rock,
Oh, I
like a
never
really
thought of it
cool
that
rock.
way.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, this is that childlike nature, and Guts is seeing it just after he talked to Judo, and I was like, wow, like this guy's really a child. Like he's a big
Oh,
baby.
that's cool.
Yeah, like let me see. I think I have it. Yeah.
Go ahead, Brago.
I feel like a lot of the moments that are kind of just small, but they're so impactful throughout, at least up until Golden Age.
This one.
Now I remember that. I remember that for sure.
Love that face.
Involves Judo.
Yeah.
Like
He's so good, man.
I'm thinking about when Guts was about to leave and he's talking to Judo. And
Yes.
then they talk about dreams. And Judo's like, I don't know if something's wrong or if you just need purpose or if something's just wrong with people in general. But if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn. Where it's just like he out of all the characters, he's somebody that consistently he cares for other people
He's
and
so
what they
tender-hearted.
genuinely want. Like he's a super genuine person. Even that moment, Gus is like, I gotta go, I gotta find purpose. He's like, I mean, I don't know really, but like if that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do. So that was a moment that kind of stuck out. I stayed on that page for a while because it's like, I guess that's true. Like he's like, something wrong, or is it just you? But either way, you got to figure it out. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
shout out to Judo, man.
Yeah, and the fact that he loved Casca and he was asking Griffith, would you consider her? Like,
Yeah, would you leave with her?
what about her?
Yeah, that's putting your feelings to the side completely.
Oh, he does. He
Yeah.
does. And
Yeah.
it's different too because with Guts, he does care about Casca, and I think he knows it at this point, but he doesn't believe. I don't think he believes that she would ever choose him over Griffith because in his mind, Fountain scene, like Griffith is way up here, he's still way down here. And until he can make himself equal with Griffith for his own sake,
Yeah.
but also Casca would never look at him until he's there either in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so for him, he's like, I have to be the kind of man that she would want. Whereas with Judo, he knows I'm not the kind of man she wants. But I want her to have the kind of
Yes,
man.
you are,
Like,
Judo. You are. If you would have just told her,
What
she
did he
would have
say?
chose you.
no.
He said that's what he would say, isn't it?
Yes. Murphy, you don't
Yeah,
think you would have
man.
picked Judo?
In the
Casca-
right circumstance.
I think so
But
too.
I wonder if Casca is unintentionally drawn to ambition,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because like the whole thing happened after Guts came back and like he saved them, and like now they're like, well, Casca was leading us, and now it's like we need you, and now they have that moment. So it's like I think ambition also moves her, but that doesn't mean Judo doesn't have any ambition. But like I think in the right circumstance she chooses him, but she would not choose him if Griffith and Guts are around.
Yeah, third choice.
Yeah.
What a prize.
I don't think
Yeah.
she'd be third choice.
Oh, your romance loving heart. Evan Clogger says, don't know if it was talked about yet, but has everyone read chapter 83, the Lost chapter? And if so, thoughts? Lads, have you read it?
I don't remember if I have the Lost chapter.
It's one, the lore around it is that if you read Official, you haven't read it. But I guess Mira wrote it originally and then asked for it not to be official. So there are scans of it, but it's not canon because he redacted it before it could go to official. I have not read it.
I don't remember it. Wait,
Did you read it?
I did read it.
Oh, you did?
I did read it.
Is that the chapter in? You didn't read it yet.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think I did read it. Yeah, I think I did read it.
Jay, have you read it?
Have I read
83? It's the Lost chapter, or the one that Mira redacted and didn't go to official.
No, I don't think so.
Apparently, it's a big lore chapter that answers a lot of questions.
Is it about causality?
I don't know.
More about reasons.
I haven't read it just because Mira said that he didn't want it to be official. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll just read the story as it is then.
Yeah.
Oh, I have read it.
Yeah.
I have. I'm looking at it.
Really? I'm the only one?
Yeah.
Right,
it is about causality.
right
I
quick.
knew
We'll
it.
discuss it on
Yeah. I did read it. Okay.
And release, was it good?
It made me a little mad, which I know they're gonna be like, no, but it made me a little mad. But it was informative.
Right.
Okay.
Right. More than anything, that's what it is.
Cool. Jay, before the stream started, you were talking about something that you pulled from your reread so far, specifically about Guts processing trauma. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, I think when I was watching one of your early reviews of Golden Age, you mentioned how Guts is always holding his sword. And as I was going through that reread, I started just like, all right, let me pay attention to this and see. And as I kept, obviously, we see the atrocity that happens with Donovan, which I'll never be comfortable reading as long as
we're not supposed to be comfortable with it.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Some people make jokes.
Right.
I'll just move on. Yeah, but seeing how Guts reacted and how he slept with his sword afterwards, as if that sword is his blanket. You know how kids have their favorite stuffed animal, or kids have their favorite blanket, and they hold it tight when they go to sleep. The fact that Guts sleeps with his sword like a blanket,
yeah,
and it carries on at every stage of his life, because throughout the beginning of Golden Age, you see him grow from 11 to 13 to 15 to 18. In every stage of his life, he's still sleeping with his sword in the same way. And that sword is the only thing he trusts. Like, literally, it was the only thing until the Band of Hawk came in, and then he found some other people. But for the most part, that sword was the only thing. He never left the sword. The sword is the only thing he could trust. And seeing how everything happened with the Golden Age, it literally went back to now. His sword is again his safe place. That's the only thing he has, and it's the only thing he'll never let go is that sword. And just seeing how even with Gambino, I hate Gambino with everything I have, by the way. I think Gambino is beyond reprehensible. But like, even with the sword that Guts had at an early age when Gambino was teaching him how to fight, still, he's like, you can use smaller swords. He's like, no, I'm gonna use this sword. Like, this is it. It's like it was attached to him at the early age, and to see how that sword developed for him, it just made me really, I guess I'd never seen childhood trauma depicted in that way, and then consistently made upon, what's the word? It's like consistently emphasized. Yeah, there you go. In a very small way throughout the entirety of Guts' story in Golden Age, right? So I think that's something that I picked up on that really opened my eyes. I was like, oh, this is a really neat thing I did.
Even in that scene with Casca, like when they're together and he's like thinking about the trauma.
Yeah.
Like choking her and not realizing it. So it's just it stayed with him. Like
big time. There's a lot of little clues about it too. like
Yeah.
when he first joins the Band of the Hawk against his will, and then freaking Corcus and his crew are at the lip of the tent, and they're like, "We're gonna kill him. We're gonna super kill this guy." And Casca disperses them. He would have done anything. And but Guts, he goes out and he says to Casca, he's like, I appreciate it. That's 2 I owe you now. And Casca's like, I wish you were dead. I hope you'll die. And then he goes back into the tent. And before that, he had been laying down in his cot, sword hanging on the post. And then Corcus comes up with a scheme, and then he goes to Casca, and he's rejected by them. He's rejected by her. He goes back into his tent. He pulls the sword off of the post, and he sleeps with it behind the crate, with his rucksack tucked in the blankets as if it's him, right? And it's like even when it seems like he should be safe, it's clear he's rejected. It's clear he's not accepted. And so he's like, it's me and my sword.
Oh,
I gotta keep my clothes. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I think even after he gets back, they ask him, like, what have you been doing? And he's just like, I've been with my sword. It's like, there's just swinging this makes me feel free. And so it's always been like him and his blade,
Yeah.
That's where he's comfortable. So
Yeah, there's so many little things like that throughout the story that Mira draws, but he doesn't self-congratulate. He's not like, everyone, did you notice? He's very, very subtle about it, so that it's really easy to miss. But once you find it, it hits so much harder.
I completely agree.
All right, so we've hit on some of our big emotional scenes. What about some, what are the heaviest ones? The ones that you had to go for a walk for a minute afterwards? Because for me, there were two that I couldn't shake for a while, other than the obvious ones, and that's Casca's miscarriage. That one stuck with me hard.
Oh, okay.
And then it was Griffith trying to kill himself and slipping and not being able to execute, and just laying there just broken, nothing. Both of those clung to me.
Oh, can you give more? I'm sorry, I know you're asking all of us. Can you give more detail about because it was hard for me to see the Griffith, attempting to take his life, but can you elaborate more on what you were feeling in that moment?
For the Griffith suicide attempt?
Yeah.
Griffith had been tortured for a year. He's scum. Okay, we all hate Griffith. May he die in pain. But he was tortured for a year. His dream outside of his grasp. His men out here fighting and being ripped to shreds by Wild, and he tries to reach for his sword to fight next to them. Can't. He can't even commit assault, even though he's trying. He got nothing. Yes. Anything he wants. I know that sounds crazy.
No, I get you.
Anything he wants to do, help his men, hurt his men, he's got nothing. And then this little boy vision of his comes out past him, and he's like, "We're not done playing. Let's go." And he tries. And in trying, he ends up breaking his arm even more, laying there in a puddle, nothing. He's got nothing. And he's brought to the point of trying to take his own life. And it's a very slow, detailed scene. It's really, really slow. And the way I understand the scene is that his broken arm, when he was trying to do it, when he was so precise trying to do it, slipped and he couldn't. And then it pierced to the side. And then he's laying there I can't even do this. And it's just the most desperate. And regardless of the fact that Griffith is scum, it's still haunting to see someone in that state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I feel like it's the same moment for a lot of people. Get through Casca's journey, Guts' journey, Griffith's journey, midst of the eclipse. In front of Guts, Griffith and Casca. And that was just that. take a little while before I, continue.
Oh yeah.
Because you think about everything Guts went through, Casca, how she viewed Griffith, and then how he was almost like reveling in the fact that Guts was in pain seeing it. It was just a lot. That was heavy. So yeah, that was the moment where it's just let me take a little break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, both that one and the Guts at the beginning, Guts and Donovan at the beginning. Both of those.
Yeah.
I mean, excluding the obvious ones, those two were like, whew, both of those were a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Donovan one. I mean, I just started the reread and I needed a break.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's how
yeah,
like
that's yeah.
it's I think, and even afterwards, like it's because it's kind of one big thing where I needed a break, which is why I think my hatred for Gambino tripled in the reread. Just because like when you really start to grasp the innocence of children, right, and the foolishness of Guts for just a speck of kindness, like
Mhm.
Gambino
Mhm.
like drew blood and hit the bone with that sword,
Mhm.
and the smallest medicine they can give him, no apology, nothing. And you see Guts' face light up when he got one bare minimum act of kindness, so much so to the point where Guts is literally like, oh my god, let me make as much money as I can for Gambino. And instead of like thanking Guts for the money he gave him, he's like, what about the dog? Then he hits him. And I'm just like, what's happening? And then
Yeah.
this all pans out to Gambino showing up in his tent drunk at night saying that Donovan is the one. Donovan paid me 2 silver coins, and I'm glad I did it. It's your fault Sis died. And then there's a face Guts makes where it's like all the light in his eyes disappears.
Yeah.
And I needed to take a break because I'm like, this is not like I can't handle this. Like I can't. This child sees you as a father. Like you're the only parental figure he's ever had in his entire life, and you literally are just mutilating his innocence. Like,
Yeah. And
nah.
even like he carries that even into adulthood. He's still,
Yes,
back to the wounds chapter, he still is like grieving over having to kill Gambino. And
Yeah.
that's a part of the trauma that's tangled up with everything else, which I think is a pretty authentic view of trauma. Like first of all, he was the only parental figure he had after his mom, after Shisu died. So it's like you still cling to that regardless of the abuse. But then also like Gambino is attached to Donovan. You can't detach. And so the trauma with Donovan is going to Gambino's there too.
Mhm.
And it was still his first kill, his first like that. So it's like I think that's an honest depiction of trauma, that it would all be so tangled like that, and that he can't view abuse as nothing but abuse and detangle it from the affection that he felt from him too, or felt for him. It's just really sad that he carries that so far into adulthood. I mean, it's honest. It's just tragic.
Like really, how do you separate the two? Because
How do you?
good feelings there, and of course it's soured by everything that happened. So it's like it's tough, and like you said, it's innocence, and internalizing that it's a lot to have to deal with. As a kid, and then it goes into adulthood. So, yeah, I think even with the scene with Casca um and Griffith, like Guts is like he's losing his mind. He's like literally cutting his arm off
Ugh.
just to try to get to Casca with how much
Can't
pain
save
he's
her.
feeling because he can't save her. Just like helpless,
Mm-hmm.
powerless in that point. And Griffith, he's enjoying it. Like he's in not.
Oh, they all are. All the God Hand reveling in the evil.
Yeah, yeah. That was tough. So like, I guess I agree with the conclusion that um Griffith is scum, but I think before this, like I had some hope.
Mm.
Um,
I want to circle back to that, but first, Amber Elise, what's your, if we haven't already covered it?
I think what hit me the hardest was just the way betrayal was utilized in this story. Even when you go to the Donovan situation, that was horrible. But what destroyed me was the fact that Gambino would sacrifice Guts for that. And
For nothing.
for nothing. And he was a child. He was somebody who did nothing but be kind to him, look up to him. And then Guts, and I think that made Griffith, as horrible as it was, it made it even worse because I know how much betrayal he's already dealt with. And now we see Guts experience that again, but also all of the Band of the Hawk, as I'm watching them die, like just perish. And all they wanted to do was follow him no matter what. And this was a no matter what. That's not how they were perceiving it, right? And we're seeing everybody. And I think what kills me the most is that they don't even know, right? Like they don't even know that he sacrificed them.
Yeah.
And they're still just hanging on. They're still trying to save Casca. They're still trying to, in this man, I hated every aspect of it, but I love the way that it was shown in this story, like the impact of it and the effect it had on my life and how I view things. So it hurt, but it also really added to the story for me in the worst but best way. So
yeah, the whole eclipse from Guts running to Griffith, even as all the creatures are coming forward and he's like still single focused running to him, and Griffith, telling him don't come, like stop, or at least wanting to tell him that, all the way through everything that they go through, them being sacrificed and going through the attacks and trying to fight through the darkness, but the darkness overcomes them. The whole eclipse segment, like obviously we fixate on the one scene, but the whole segment is like, it's so emotionally raw. I mean, it's terrible to read and to watch these characters go through this because of Griffith.
Yeah, this isn't something I thought when I first read Berserk. Well, on the reread, I was like, is this the unfortunate consequence of believing, I guess, blindly in someone else's dream and not having your own purpose? Where, like Amber was saying, they didn't even know they were being sacrificed.
Yeah.
Because they were blindly following Griffith. It was for Griffith. Everything was always in the name of Griffith. And like, without having any purpose. I mean, some of them did, but they came back and it was all for him. But like, this may be like it being depicted as just the unfortunate truth, like purpose and dreams, which is, dreams are mentioned several times. It's necessary.
yeah.
I'm not blaming them for what happened, but like, on the reread, I kind of look at it I'm looking at it from different angles.
Yeah. I think the question is, so okay, one thing that really struck me is that in the Am I Dirty scene, after Griffith, sold his body so that he could have a shortcut, so that he could get money faster, not be able to get to his dream faster, not let more soldiers fall. Yeah. Right. So, there was a lot tangled in there. It was, I don't want more men to fall than have to fall for my dream, but also I'm not willing to give up my dream and I want to get there as fast as possible. I'm not willing to take the time. This is an easier way. I'll make myself dirty so that less men have to, right? That's essentially what's happening again in the eclipse, is look at all these bodies. That's you. This is what it costs to get to that castle. Look at the chasm. It's going to take a whole lot more bodies. Now look at you. Are you still going to be able to fight that fight? Can you do it? So the question is, can you do it? But the question is also, do you have the time to get there? And what they're offering him is essentially a shortcut. Get to the castle faster. Yeah. And so the question, I think, also has to be, like, obviously having a dream is good in life, but being willing to sacrifice everything for that dream, is it actually worth it? And of course, we're seeing it from the perspective of those that are having to deal with the consequences of being ruined for someone else's dream.
It's tough because I'm sure if you went down the list of the Band of the Hawk asking them if they would die for Griffith, they would.
Right. Okay. But there's a difference. Okay. But there's a difference.
No, I agree. But it's
they would
insane
die
just
for
how that works.
him because they love him, but being sacrificed by him in this brutal, horrific way, they would all walk. They wouldn't say yes to that.
No. I think Griffith is looking at it from the perspective of would die for me anyway.
I don't think so.
Well, I think he does, but he wants to see it that way. He's trying to justify it.
Yeah,
I think he knows well exactly what he's doing and exactly the cost and exactly what they wouldn't take it. He just doesn't care.
Yeah,
his dream is always number one.
Yeah,
he's just a sneaky little man.
Griffith is tough.
He's a tough one. I know that's what makes him such a great antagonist.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible, but great, well written.
So you guys don't think there's any good in there?
Oh, okay, yes. So let me read the super chat, and that's what I want to circle back to. I love the juxtaposition of Griffith's need for control and the cost of everything and Guts relinquishing control for the sake of revenge. There's a lot of contrast, I think, between these two, and that is definitely a very good one. This is what I wanted to circle back to, though, Brago, because yes, I think that there is good in there. And when I say, he's scum or whatever, it's because of the end result. It's who you've chosen to be in the end. But then there's this really interesting question of what is the point of no return for Griffith? I think personally that okay, was it when Guts left? Or was it after the torture, or was it after the attempted suicide? What point was he oh, I'm done? Because he said Guts made him consider giving up his dream. So there was a point where he could have chosen a different kind of life than just nonstop, relentless ambition. So to me,
have a daydream or something about him and Casca?
Yeah, he did. It was after the fall.
Yeah,
it was after he was thrown from the carriage. And but how did that end? The Behelit came up from the soup, and he chose the Behelit. There is another option in life, but he's not going to choose it. But I think that the point of no return was when the God Hand were manipulating him and were giving him that vision and telling him, what's the point of repentance? You've gone this far. Why even turn back now? I think we were up to the line with him of trying to decide on what to do.
I guess what's the line? What was too far where he decided that's it?
Right. Where is it? That's the question.
Is it? Okay. It feels like after seeing Guts and Casca.
That was definitely a big moving point.
Where it's that's not what I wanted. But it's almost like seeing two people that you care about, but they're happy without you.
He was being replaced as their number one.
Where their number one, now it's each other.
Can't be so.
I'm number one. You guys both belong to me.
I agree with this. It's when he said, I sacrifice. Because when Guts was running, he said, don't touch me. Don't put your hand on your shoulder. If you do, I'll never.
Yes.
So, and before that, he was telling him, stay back, don't come, don't. And then at the scene with the God Hand manipulating him, he was saying, I'll never again. But this time he had changed his mind. This time it was the other direction. I think those I'll nevers were meant to be parallels to one another. And I think that he didn't want Guts. Don't come over here. I don't want to make this decision. I want you to leave and keep this decision from me. I don't know. I feel like he was back and forth. He was back and forth up to the moment.
That's the thing. That's why I said some good, or I guess the different Griffith in there. We're just like, it wasn't like an instant decision. It was some pondering and some things that had to go really far for him to decide to say, like, all right, it's time. Amber, I know you like.
Yeah, Amber is dying on the
She's
inside.
like, yeah, all right, Griffith.
Yeah, it's just
all right.
He's just yapping.
Like, I'm not trying to have this conversation.
I think they'll make some very valid points. So I just think it wasn't if, it was when he was going.
Is it inevitable?
Yes.
Well, fate's a big theme in the story.
True. Very true.
So was he always fated to do it, Amber Elise?
I think when I look at the people, and again, there's so much I haven't read yet, so I don't know. But when I look at the people who have so far been using this Behelit situation, I feel like it's something in them. I just can't imagine if you were to give that to Guts, it would even be in his mind. Now, some people, it may be a little more, but I think they literally go for people who have that in them.
I agree.
Like, I can look at people, I'm exaggerating, in real life and be like, oh, you're kind of a cheater, you're a liar, you're a saint. Like, I can look at you and kind of be like, I've seen this film before. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I felt about him and the people that they choose. Again, that's a very broad way of saying things. I think
you're right. I think they choose people that
point.
are inclined for that intense ambition. And then they kind of push them and try to get them to that point of no return.
I think up to back that point up in Black Swordsman as well, you see the Count's backstory with his wife.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing somebody had brought this up to me where his wife was in that, grotesque orgy with that, goat head demon or whatever. And that was Slan. That was like Slan, one of the god. So it's one of the god hands, the girl with the snake hair and everything. She is notorious for that. Like any example of that orgy type thing, it'll show up later in Berserk. I don't know if you guys will get to conviction or not. But that's Slan's influence. So he made a point where it's like, couldn't you just blame Slan for them being enticed by that whole demonic orgy thing? And he's like, yeah, but they still had a right. They still had a choice and a decision to make. And it's like they wanted to go and feel that pleasure. So they go into it. And the God Hand used that to corner people to making a decision. So when he was going to kill his wife, but then chose not to, the God Hand show up. And they're just like, hey, your pain, your suffering, you want to get rid of it all. We'll give you something to help you get rid of it, but just go ahead and do this. And then outside of that, instantly he takes it. And it just seems like a common theme with them. So I think to back up Amber's point, going to Griffith, ambition was always something that he had from very, very early on. And it's just something that could be taken advantage of. If you look at Zod obviously went through something similar as well. Oh, is that spoilers? Ooh, wait.
Don't go no more.
Brock, is that spoilers?
Don't say no more. But
Don't say no more. Yeah.
I was gonna say,
but similar,
ambition though. Ambition. I think they're going after ambitious people on purpose because sometimes that's the cost. Where with ambitious people, you've been climbing for so long that if you're right on the cusp and then you fall because of how much I sacrificed to get here, you might feel like I deserve this no matter what the cost is.
That's true. That's true.
So it's almost like a setup where it's just like these people that are super ambitious, like you climb. Like Griffith, he went through a lot. Even when he was willing to sacrifice himself and give his body to the king, I was like, oh, you're willing to do anything.
Yeah.
And then to get right to the cusp and then like to lose it all, be tortured for a year, see like two people that's close to you, you kind of lose them as well, or you feel like you're losing them because you could argue that the gap that Guts and Casca that they were feeling with Griffith being more recognized by the nobles, did it like flip where now he got tortured for a year and now he's like, dang, like was this gap always here? Were they always like this? Were they always this close? And at that point, I feel like I have nothing. So I don't have nothing else to lose. I'm gonna do it.
I think the scene with the king was very much a fracturing of his humanity that he was totally responsible for, like in a very human way. And then what the God hand requires is a fracturing of humanity more in a spiritual way. But I mean, we see with the count that it can be denied. It's not required. It's they are bound to the laws of causality, whatever that means, just as much as anyone else is. But Griffith is the type that's more likely to be manipulated, and so they put the Behelit near him.
Yeah, he's more likely to take it.
Yep.
Especially based on what he went through.
Oh, yeah.
There's
a reason they put it there when he tried to kill himself. There's a reason it showed right back up.
It's like, hey, you can get out of this.
You're at your worst.
Let's take this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy. Like you guys talking about, like it could be just fate. Because if Guts doesn't hear that conversation with him and Charlotte, probably doesn't leave. And Griffith probably doesn't spiral. I think eventually Guts gets to a point where Griffith has achieved the things that he wanted to achieve, and he's like, maybe it's time for me to move on. But it wouldn't have happened this soon if he didn't hear that conversation. Like Jay said, that brought him some sentience, where it's just like, okay, I need to start thinking for myself a bit more now.
Yeah, I think you're right. Realizing that he has to become his own person, he can't rely on Griffith.
Yeah.
Would you say that Amber Alise is one of your top 5 antagonists?
He's number 1.
Oh, Griffith is Amber Alise's number 1. You heard it here first.
Well said.
What about y'all?
Yeah, because y'all have so many. Y'all have, I'm sure, read a lot more manga and watch more anime than us. So where does he rank for you all?
He's number 1.
Oh, really? Out of everything?
Yeah, I made a top 10 characters list, and Guts and Griffith are 1 and 2.
Is it spoiler free?
It is spoiler free.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah. Guts is my number 1 favorite character of all time, and Griffith is literally number 2.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because their story, and it's all because of Golden Age. Like afterwards, there's some really good stuff, but because of Golden Age alone, I'm like, these two, I don't think they'll ever be topped, especially Griffith. Like all the conversation you guys are having about how just explaining and going into his mind, and how Miura takes you on a journey where it's like you think you know him, but you really don't know him.
Yeah.
And you don't really know him all the way throughout. Even now in the Black Swordsman, you're seeing him there. You still don't really know what's going on in there. Like, what are you thinking, man? Like, what's going on in your head? But with every action, you're trying to think like, oh no, he's this. Then he'll do something else. I'm like, wait, what?
Yes.
What? Like, yeah. So just, I love an antagonist that can keep you on your feet like that. But you just know, all right, his disposition is he's willing to trample on others for his own ambition.
Yeah.
That's an antagonist, period. So for me, yeah, number 1.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like Miura captures humanity through Griffith. Where I think we can all attest to the fact that sometimes you have feelings that you didn't even know you had. Mm-hmm. Where it's like sometimes you don't even know how you're feeling. Somebody asks you how you feel. I don't know. I can't really tell you. I'm figuring it out. Right. And I think he uses Griffith to kind of wrestle with those, where like we talked about, like with Guts leaving, where it's like, did he feel like he was his friend? Did he realize it when he was leaving? Is it something he's trying to hold on to once it was at the end? And so I think that's why the audience, and I agree with Jay, he's number 1. It's hard to top just because the this raw humanity, like envy, jealousy, entitlement. Like you can point at so many different things, and Griffith, he has shown it in some way. So no, I think he's definitely number 1.
Yeah, same. And for the same reasons you said, Brago, it's not just that he's horrible, and like easy to hate, but it's that he's so complicated. Mm-hmm. It's that there's so much going on there. Like when he's sitting in his torture dungeon thinking about his feelings for Guts, and it's the love, it's the hate, it's the anger, it's the he's just listing off emotion after emotion, and then you watch without words him go through every single one of those. And it's like every single panel of Griffith, I'm sitting there just staring at, trying to analyze, trying to work out what's going on in his mind. I just don't know that many antagonists that are as complicated and mysterious and awful, but interesting as Griffith.
Brago, the way you said that, I still will never like Griffith. There's nothing anybody can say, but you kind of humanized him, and I don't like that. It made me think.
Well done.
I mean, it's just I feel like sometimes the hardest thing is looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I think for Griffith, like, I don't know, I feel like we all have like a line, right? But we also have like things that we would sacrifice anything for. People would sacrifice anything for the most part. And so it's just like, for Griffith, that was his ambition. And he was willing to sacrifice anything for it. Not that I necessarily relate on that level. But I guess I understand like the humanity of it, and just indecision, feelings, jealousy, envy, working through that. And like I said, it's I think Murphy said he's easy to hate, but I think he's also easy to love. Like, with just how grandiose he is of a character, and how he seemingly had everything in front of him. And everybody's like, all right, he's on another level. It's just, we just follow him, you know?
Yeah. I think watching him be such a master strategist, like when they're going through the river and Guts is like, we're coming from behind at night and the river is going to cover our sound. Like, he's processing all of the thought that's gone into it. And then, you know, the kindness that he does show, or when they're facing off against Zod and he goes in and like gets Guts, and he's like, can you fight? And Guts is like, well, I don't have a choice. And he goes left. And then he knows what that means. And they break apart and they fight Zod together. There are so many scenes that make you want to love Griffith. It's just hard with the full context, but make you want to, you know, the scene individually, because he is that. He is the charming one. He has the charisma.
But I like when he gets in his bag too. Like, versus was it Fosa? The little scheming, the short scheming guy. That was
the guy in the one of the nobles in the kingdom.
Yeah, that he kidnapped his daughter.
He cooked him. He cooked him.
Right, and he was like, he doesn't know it's me. He doesn't know
the priest guy.
Right, then he walks out and Griffith is at the end of the hallway just staring at him.
Farming.
He just walks away. He's like, wait, what was that? Like, then he asked him at the end when he finally talked to him. He's like, did you know? He's like, no. I didn't know.
No, to that point, the whole scene of him when it was burning, the Queen's building was just burning, and he was just standing
outside.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Look
right.
at
that. That wasn't poison. Like, I like when he gets in his bag.
Yes.
Like, I'm just saying, he's different.
So for me, I'm glad you said that, because I think one of the biggest things, when I was reading Berserk earlier, one of the things I loved about him is like when people like say they want to do something, right? He has such a big dream to have a kingdom, and he has a plan. He's executing that plan. But one of the moments I love the most is when, I think it's Guts visits Griffith as he's in his room, and you're seeing all of the studying that he's doing. Like, I need to know economics. I need to know language. I need to know this. I need to know that. You see the time he puts in when nobody's watching, where he's learning everything. He's learning about the kingdom. He's learning about geography. He's learning about families. He's learning about everything, because he's not just saying it. And I think that's what Judo was talking about when he first started talking about Guts. There's a lot of people that just say things that are a dreamer, but he's not a dreamer. He's doing everything that he said he's going to do, and he's doing everything. So it's like, when you look at somebody like that, you can't help but respect him. The same way you, for some reason, like to respect Corcus. You should have the same respect for Griffith, because Griffith does everything that he says he wants to do. I know it's crazy spin, but it's the truth, right? Griffith did everything that he wanted to do. You may have not liked how he did it, but Griffith was honest to the end.
I think it's hard.
He hasn't been honest with himself. Yeah.
It's hard because you know where it goes.
Exactly.
You know?
I agree with
It's-
that.
yeah,
I agree with
it's-
that. I agree with that. But
Exactly. Yeah, it was because in the Black Swordsman we see him in the God Hand,
Mhm.
and so I know he sacrifices Gets. I know he's probably going to sacrifice some other people too, and so I'm just like, all right, arm's length. But then I can't help but draw closer to him as I'm reading it because he's so fascinating. But I understand where it's going, so I'm like, okay, I'm fascinated by this character. I'm intrigued by him. But the thing is, I didn't know the extent of where it was going. Right? Like I didn't know about Casca.
Yeah.
And so once you get there, then I'm like, okay, this is so much more than I ever expected. So I will appreciate how brilliantly the character is written. But
Yeah. I was just gonna say that he's
dumb.
brilliant. And you feel that, and Miro uses other characters to show that, and you see everything he says he wants to do, he does it. And even again, putting himself in harm's way, getting dirty because of for his people. And at the end of the day, it's like if we're feeling that as readers, imagine the people that's following him, right? Like
Yeah.
Definitely.
it's whatever for Griffith,
Yeah.
So yeah, best antagonist.
Griffith basically made the hero's journey treated like a protagonist, but for evil. Thoughts on that?
But for evil.
I wouldn't say it was for evil. He was on the hero's journey, but it's just a testament to how quickly things can change.
Well, I mean, the end result was for evil.
I guess.
He's called, I don't remember what it is now, but he was given many titles throughout the ceremony. And one of them was like the Wings of Evil or something like that. And like they made clear that they're serving evil, basically. And that Griffith was like our bastion of evil, our chosen one of evil. So I mean, like his end result was entering into, those that are trying to bring evil into the world, the age of darkness.
Then fair. I can kind of see that. I mean, I guess it's like
our child of darkness. Yeah, that was one of them.
I guess if you're looking at it, just if you take a step back from the story and you look at it in its totality, you could say
that Griffith's journey was for evil.
Like it's a hero's journey into evil,
but evil, but on the track of evil.
Yes, I think it's definitely a hero's journey. But like you said, they kind of took advantage of his ambition. So, I wouldn't say the journey is for evil, but it's just where it ended up. But that could be part of the reason why we like him as much, because he was the hero. And I think even at the beginning, how they framed him, like how he was viewed by everybody in the kingdom. And I think they brought in like an antagonist like Julius that was just like big hater, and so it's just like they're dispatching all these enemies and he's the person that we're following. And of course, Guts is the main character and that's who he's following. So we look at him in a positive light. But yeah, I think just how they framed it made us like him.
Survivor's guilt for everyone that died for his dream was too much. So many'd already died. The corpse bridge at the castle too large. Deaths in vain. Survivor's guilt is an interesting interpretation of that. I'm not sure I would attribute survivor's guilt to him. More so sunk cost fallacy, where it's like I'm looking at how far I've come and it's like there's no point in repenting at this point. There's no point in apologizing. I just need to finish the job from here.
Yeah, I don't think survivor's guilt. Like you said, I think about like if Griffith at that point, after they saved him after the torture, what does the mountain look like for him to get back to where he was? I think
the
just
even said, if you quit now, the hawk will take you back. I think that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, rephrase that, Murphy. I'm sorry. What do you mean?
So the God hand, my interpretation is that the God hand cannot force anything. They can manipulate the situation, but they are bound to the same stuff that we are in their quest to bring evil to the earth and to like change the flow of the tide, as they put it. So my understanding is that all they can do is present the truth. They'll take you back if you quit now, if you don't sacrifice them, if you don't make this sacrifice and you just go to them, they will accept you. But if you don't, then all these bodies are in vain and you're not getting to that castle. And if you do, like, here's all you've been sacrificing, here's the dream, here's the thing that you actually want. So they can manipulate, they can coerce, they can try, like they did with the Count, where they were like, you're gonna get dragged into hell if you don't sacrifice her, like, it's the truth.
Yeah.
But like, he decided that her life was more valuable and he let her live. And they had to do the same for Griffith. They had to tell him the truth, I think, but they were allowed to be manipulative and coerce him. But at the end of the day, they can't force him into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought you were saying something else, but okay, I got it.
I think that it's true that the band would have taken him back if he didn't make the sacrifice and he just went with them. I think it's true that they would have continued to care for him.
But that care looks a lot different now.
Yeah.
Because I might argue that after that moment when Guts was about to leave and they had that duel and Guts won, he could never be his subordinate again.
No.
Oh no.
Guts,
because he beat him in front of
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people will always. Yeah, his image was destroyed there.
It was just because Griffith was perfect. They were like, "Oh, Guts, he's still stronger than Guts. Like Guts has gotten a lot stronger, but Griffith is still," and he beat him. And I think even with what Guts put on the line to save them and save Griffith, you could say that if it came to a vote, they might be like, "We think we want Guts to lead us."
Oh yeah. Well, at this point, Griffith can't lead them anyway.
Yeah.
He has no voice. In his body can't lead either. And so, yes, the way that they would accept him back is they would become his caretakers, and he would not. That's not the life he could accept.
Nope. I don't think he could ever accept that. So I think inevitably, it's fate. Like he couldn't go back to that.
It's not though. Like him not. I mean, sorry, I don't mean to sound dismissive. I just disagree because I think that him not being able to accept them being his caretakers isn't fate. That's just him. That's just his pride. But that doesn't mean it's fated just because that's who he's carved himself out to be.
Well, no, I agree with that. That is who he is. But the spiral and the events that transpired based on who he is, these decisions, it's almost like what he's going to be. Like it's inevitable, right? Because he's just so low. And like Jay was saying, all the research, all the time spent, all the dedication, I can't go back. Sorry.
Put way too much in.
It's too much invested at this point.
Bag of Chips says that he thinks it's less about ambition and more about desperate people, giving desperate people the opportunity to feed their darkest impulses. I think it's both. I think ambition is what drives you to the Bechelet in the first place, and then they get you to your deepest point of desperation so that you'll use it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would say you can't even get to that desperation without ambition. Ambition leads to desperation.
But the thing is, they're not going to just offer it to desperate people. They're a lot of desperate people.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But like, you want the people that are destined to be great, that somewhat lose it all, that are going to be the best candidates. So I think desperation is definitely a part of it, but it's like, you want those special people that get to that point. I think ambition is necessary.
So it is so interesting how it's cyclical in that way. Like, we choose who we're going to be, right? Like Griffith chose to be the type of person that values his dreams over his people's lives. And he chose to be the type of person that would sell himself to get there faster and to do it, in this way that costs less. He chose to make the decisions that he made, and his choices of who he chooses to be is what draws the God hand to him. and puts this in his hands so that he will now be tempted to go even farther. So like I do think that the initial point is our free will. At least that's how I'm taking the series at this point. Yet causality leads to this, leads to that, leads to that.
Yeah, that's something about what you said. You choose who we want to be. I think somewhat.
Circumstances definitely do
Yeah, I think
add factors.
I think there's certain points where you choose things, and then sometimes you just realize you are what you are. Where some people get to the point where they realize I'm just lazy.
You can't break that. If you realize you're lazy, you're just damned to it. Or
no, but you have that choice.
You have to, that's why I don't like Griffith.
Yeah,
That's exactly
you have the choice
why
where it's like I can try to be right. I can try to procrastinate less. I can try to be more intentional. But some people just like I just want to just work here.
Yeah, you make that choice, don't you? To stay that
cool,
way,
right? But then some people realize I'm not a good leader, and I feel like for leaders, you can learn and try to become a better leader, but I feel like sometimes leaders are just chosen. Like naturally, that's just who you are. And I feel like some people, even for Guts, in a weird way, I don't feel like Guts wants to lead necessarily. I feel like Guts just wants to do his own thing. But when he came back to the band and he saved them, they were almost looking at him like a savior, like, yo, like, we need you. And he, based on like the year and his time away and his newfound purpose, he's like, all right, I'm going to take this on and take on this role. But I don't know if that's like him necessarily choosing that, but like I said, circumstances can kind of propel you into certain places where you didn't even know that you could or you want to be. So thought that was interesting.
If he doesn't continue, then the kid that died, who's representative of all the people that died in the pursuit of his dream, then all their sacrifices meant nothing. They would have died in vain. So is the argument here that it's good that he sacrificed everyone? Because I would argue that when you come to find yourself standing on a pile of bodies and you're like, oh, maybe the choices I've made are not great. I would say that the Count's choice of saying this stops here, even though the cost is horrible for me stopping it here, as opposed to continuing to sacrifice more and harm more people.
I think for me, it also depends on what is the end goal here, because so far what we've gotten, it's just been a lot of destruction and pain. So if I had more of an understanding, because he says he wants a kingdom, then he does this thing where it's just more evil than I guess I'm not understanding what is the end goal for this. I don't know how I would feel even if I knew it was something positive, but so far it just seems like something negative. So I wouldn't say I agree with that, but I like the question or the statement.
This is a follow-up from the way I interpreted it. I'm just saying that it's one excuse that he would make for his actions. I gotcha. That is something that he was using to excuse. Absolutely. Yes, I do agree with you on that.
How many bodies is too many bodies? I think it's never too many bodies if you're willing to sacrifice bodies, right?
One. Half?
Like, I feel like if you're willing to kill somebody, who are you not willing to kill? It's just, I feel like it's just, like you said, the sacrifices that he made and his goals and his ambitions, maybe some entitlement. Like, this is my dream, this is my goal. Like, you guys, this is supposed to happen for me. So, and so many people already died. It's like, yeah, let's a few more.
Oh yeah, eventually it does. It just becomes a pile of bodies, which I think is why they pulled the individual. I think that was the ploy of the conflict. Because it's clear that the boy's death affected Griffith more. It was after they saw the boy's death that Griffith then sold himself to stop more deaths.
Yeah.
He didn't do that before the boy died. And then when I'm telling you, I hyper analyzed all the Griffith scenes. It was ridiculous. But in that scene when he was in the river scratching himself, Casca, he was digging at himself, and then they were talking, and he was talking about his dream, he was talking about his ambition. He stopped, and then Casca asked, is this because of the boy? And he started digging at himself again and said no. Like, I think that boy affected him, and I think there's a reason that they pulled him from the pile of bodies to use him as the face. I don't remember the point that I was getting at with that, though.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that scene.
So, what is you guys' overall thoughts? And I guess I'd like to ask you, Murphy and Amber, how do you feel about Berserk right now? After everything that you've read, after everything that you've experienced, if you were to express that to somebody that's curious about Berserk, would you tell them to read it? How do you feel about it?
Oh, did you want to go, Murphy? Or
No, go.
Okay. It's interesting. That's a really good question, because this story has been a very, I mean, as most reading journeys are, but this has been a really personal thing for me. Like, I would say that this experience was transformative. I know I've ranted a lot, but I took a lot of wonderful things out of this story. The whole struggler concept of this, at first, I hated it because I didn't understand why the promotion of struggling, it's not a word that I usually have a positive connotation attached to, but the way it made me embrace what struggling is, because we all have to go through it for multiple reasons, really transformed the way I see life. So that's a long way of saying that is a reason why I would recommend it. But naturally, just my direct frame of mind is like, a lot of people I would not recommend this to, but there are a certain group of people I would recommend this story to, who I think would see the benefit. Maybe not the same thing that I saw, but I think they would gravitate towards a lot of aspects that Berserk has.
I don't think I could just recommend it to anyone. I think that it's a decision that people just have to make for themselves, because the content is so heavy, and because I don't think it's always handled great. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's handled brilliantly. Sometimes it's not. And so, to me, it's one of those things where I'm like, I think that I'm personally glad I read it. This is a story that forced me to engage with it, forced me to think, and I loved it. I loved the conversations that came from it. But there's a lot I don't like about it too. And like, I don't know how to just give someone a recommendation for a story like this. You know what I mean?
I think the way I've always gone about it is I don't recommend it to people, but if they say I want to read Berserk, I'm like, oh, go ahead. Like, you got to be curious about it first. Yeah, I'm not gonna go out of my way, because, like, for me, if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know if you would read Berserk or not, so I never really brought it up to you.
Yeah.
But when I found out you were reading it, I was like, oh, I'm so curious to see what you think. Like, how are you going to absorb this type of manga? Because
it's a lot.
It's not a case of like, it's not a case of you couldn't handle it, because I knew you could. But it's a case of this manga can put some people off in a way where they just will never read it. And I've seen so many people do that, where they'll read something gory or, morbid. You love God, what's his name? Junji Ito. Like, that guy's insane. Like, he's mad. So I'm like, that's not the gore. It's just that Miura does things that are so very few mangas get as raunchy and as dark as Miura. Like, very few. And in a way that's actually written. Now, there are some things like we haven't talked about Wild yet, but I think most of us agree, like, you could have just taken Wild out of the story, we would have been all right. But like, yeah, look at Brian's face. Yeah, but like, it gets so aggressive. Like, and you guys, the next arc, Lost Children, is really good. I would recommend reading Lost Children if you don't want to go any further. Lost Children is amazing. Amber Elise is like, I don't know if I'm gonna do all that, but Conviction, I know both of you would start reading at Conviction. I just know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. There's something that Miura does that is very controversial, and people, a lot of people drop the manga for it. It's like you read Conviction, right, Braga?
Hmm.
The horse. Yeah,
I really like that art.
the arc is great. I love it.
You like that
But
horse?
there's a horse.
There's a
Because I read the horse for you today. You like that
there's
horse?
no,
Braga?
there's no way.
I read it today.
Oh, you're traumatized. Wait, hold on. Okay, let's
Listen, I read it today.
Are you good?
I was on the
Are
phone
you
with a
good?
friend while I was reading it, and I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. I'm just gonna walk
You're
away.
done. I
I'm
knew
gonna
it.
go
I
walk.
knew she dropped it. I
No,
knew
I
she
didn't drop
dropped
the
it.
story. I didn't drop the story. I was
Okay.
just like,
Okay,
I
you
don't need
dropped
to finish this. I don't need to finish this volume right now.
Take a little
I'm
break.
just
No,
gonna go
you
for a
don't.
walk.
You need a
Maybe
break.
yell
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. It's things like that with the horse. I was like, nah, that's just a lot.
Yeah, I think Conviction is great.
Okay.
Oh, let me answer as about recommendations. I think it depends on the person more than anything. I don't think it's just like a passing recommendation. Like, hey guys, let's go read Berserk. 'Cause I think honestly, like somebody reading Berserk might look at you and be like, "Is this what you into?"
Oh,
So,
for sure.
I think it's one you gotta show interest in and kind of stumble onto yourself and kind of because unless it's somebody that you know already kind of delves into certain things that Berserk covers, but I think also you can give maybe some warning, like, hey, it's kind of heavy, it goes there, like just be prepared. But just a casual recommendation, like if somebody wants to get into manga, no shot, no chance.
Yeah, for sure. Amber, Elise, are you going to continue with Berserk?
I haven't completely decided. I'm not open to it. I haven't made a definite decision.
Yeah.
If I'm going to continue. But I do think if I were to stop, this was an awesome-ish place to stop. As far as the impact that the arc had on me.
It does have an impact. Okay, well then let's talk about the ending because okay, did y'all like how Golden Age ended?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And Golden Age, for the most part, is the best stretch of Berserk for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now there is another one, but I won't mention. Did you get the Falconia?
I did.
Falconia is good. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. But yeah.
I'm guessing you
was great.
didn't. Did you not like the ending?
I sat in my car and cried for an hour.
Okay.
After I finished reading it. And then I cried again for the next week. Like,
Yeah.
It's the most depressing ending to anything I've ever read. I was so sad at the ending, and that's why I had to move on to Lost Children, because I was like, if I don't move forward, I mean, I gave myself a break, but I was like, if I don't move forward, I will not return to this.
And I think, that's
it's
where
too much.
Well, that's what I had no intention of like continuing doing. I mean, I had intention, but I wasn't going to do Berserk videos back to back. That was not in my plan at all. And then I was like, if I stop now, I'm not going to pick it back up again. And I think I should have done that, but I didn't. So now I don't know if I get exactly what you're saying.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's not, it doesn't get happy. It's not suddenly not depressing.
No, it does not get happy.
So you actually finished Lost Children already?
Yeah. I loved it.
Well, because it's good, right? It's really
so
good.
good.
Lost Children is really good.
Rosine is Rosine. Wow. Anyway, yes.
I probably won't. I'll do a Lost Children video, and then I'm probably done doing Berserk videos, but I'll keep reading. It's just the content is so heavy, and the way I do it is I read the story, and then I have some distance, and then I read it again and write up all my notes. And then I make a video. I have to sit through filming talking about all this and then go through the editing process. It's a lot. It's a lot of sitting with a story this heavy. So I don't know. I don't really want to keep making videos on it. It's just, it puts me through a lot.
I think I like that idea of reading it, but maybe not doing content on it. Because I read it, then just go talk about it. Like, and it's always just I'm very emotional. I'm very like, I don't know. I'll think about it, but that may be the path I take as well. Because I do want to see what happens, but I don't know.
I think what I wish I did was read it and then like maybe do like immediately just share my thoughts on camera.
That's what Amber Alise did.
Raw
She
thoughts,
vlogged
yeah.
it. She would sit down,
Yeah.
turn on the camera the moment she finished
as
reading.
soon as
a
you're
volume.
done, because it's just like that emotion and how it makes you feel in that moment. You know, I wish I had captured that, because I was after Golden Age. I was like, this is the outcome for all this.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I know.
You know,
It's depressing. It's real big sad.
you know, and it stays with you for a little while. Like, just I went through all this, and it's like, this is where we are, you know. So that's something I wish I did. But if you guys continue, it'd be dope to have these conversations for even like lost children, conviction. Depending on
Oh
how
yeah, I
folks
would love to
take it.
talk to y'all about it. Like, y'all's insight is really, really great. I'm still mad at Jay for like, he gave such a smooth discussion when he was talking, and then he threw in that Corcus moment and comparing and I was like, how did he do that?
That's what
And
I
I'm
do.
still
It's
just
what
like,
I do. It's what he do.
It's what I do.
It's
Brago
literally-
had me thinking about Griffith. I'm like, I don't. It's helpful,
There's
but
no-
it
There's
also
nobody
angers me.
worse. There's nobody worse at that than Brago, by the way. So don't think I'm the main culprit. Brago does that for sport.
Brago has been chill in this stream. I'm surprised.
Oh man,
I feel like the content is so heavy, we don't gotta go there.
I ain't gotta go.
We ain't gotta go there. Berserk does it for us, and if you continue, yeah, it gets to certain places. But no, I think it's a beautiful story. Like I said, I view it as a love story. At least Golden Age, Griffith, Casca, Guts. What I was gonna ask you guys, and this might be a difficult question, but which character you relate to the most, if any, in Berserk?
relate to is such an awesome question. I don't know if anybody's ever asked me that about a story that I relate to.
Man, it's easy to say who your favorite is.
I know. I
Right.
was ready to say, oh, I know, but when he said
So help me
relate,
if you say Corcus.
well,
Don't.
Oh, no.
that I relate to.
Brago, do you have an answer while we're thinking?
I feel like it's like a combination,
Yeah.
right? Because it's gonna sound crazy, but
Uh-oh.
I can relate to Griffith.
Same. I was gonna say that.
Okay,
All
Murphy,
right.
the stream is done.
It was really nice seeing you, everybody.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Make sure to subscribe to Amber Elise's channel. Guys, so I don't know about them. If anyone sees a
This-
Behelit lying around, please don't put it in the hands of anyone in this chat.
It all makes sense now.
Go ahead, Brago.
It's the ambition and the difficulty of choices sometimes. Like you said, I think there are crossroads in our lives in different moments, and I think there are a lot of times where you can choose the high road, you can choose the path of least resistance, but it may leave some bodies in your wake, where there's a lot of times, not a lot of times, there are times where like you can ascend to, it could be a promotion or something that would benefit you, but other people be hurt in the process. And then you have a decision to make where it's like, do I care about how they feel, or do I just make that decision based on the work that I know I put in? And I feel like I deserve this. I've earned this, regardless of what's in my wake. So I relate to that part of Griffith, but then with Guts, I kind of relate to just like the impact of trauma into adulthood, and just how that can impact your life and your decisions, and how people can affect that, and how you can grow through it. So
Mm,
I think off rip, those were two characters that I related to.
that's good.
Yeah.
I think with Griffith, it's that trying to be everything for everyone at once, where I feel like I think for me when it comes to like leadership and being a man, that responsibility that you take where, for example, we're content creators and you have a fan base, you have your chat, you have people, you have subscribers, and they go to you for information, they go for you to entertainment, they go for you for all so many different types of things. So there's a lot of hats that you wear, especially if you do a lot of streaming as
Mm,
well. So I've always had this thing where I always feel like there's always more I need to be doing. So then you try to study things to be better at it is what you do. And then with the adulation comes more of responsibility. And then with that responsibility becomes more ambition. Is like, well, if I can do this, then I can actually do that. But if I can do this, then I can do that. And then the whole planning aspect of everything, like, okay, everything has to go to plan. Okay, this didn't work. I got to pivot. I got to pivot here. You got to pivot there. And it's dangerous because you can get to a point where you step outside of reality and you're living in your dreams, right?
mm,
You're living in what it is you could be rather than staying in the present. And I think Griffith got so lost in his future that he wasn't able to see Guts in the present. So I think just as someone that has ambition, as someone that has things that he wants to achieve in the future and is actively working every day to try and ensure that I get to that destination that I'm getting to, it was easy to see what Griffith was doing. Um, One of the things that I also kind of liked is that the way he presented himself, he never really let anyone in. The only one he really let in was Guts.
mm,
Outside of that, he was happy with how people viewed him. If you want to view me this way as this magical human being, then let's do it. Just go ahead and do it. It'll serve me anyway. It'll serve my purpose. But when you run into Guts, it's just like, this guy's just one of the things Griffith said to Guts early on is like, you're interesting. I've never felt this way about someone before. At the very beginning, he was like, oh, you're interesting. You're so angry, but you're wounded, but you're still fighting me. And you still want to kill me. Even though you lost, I beat you in an instant and you're still trying to fight me. Like, I want you even more now. And when he said that, it's like running into someone that he can't figure out immediately fascinated him. So much so, there's like, well, this is the one person that I know I want to be by my side because I can predict everybody else. But Guts, I want that because this guy's crazy, and I need that crazy. So like, I just related to his humanity so much. And then obviously with Charlotte and everything, like I don't relate to that no more. I don't relate to that at all. That's just like, all right, you got a little.
what a great distinction.
Yeah, I just had to emphasize that. We're on the internet and people do all kinds of things. But and then another one, judo. Love judo. I love judo because he's that guy that's watching everybody and everything
Mm,
all the time, no matter what.
that
And I
is-
love his first conversation with Guts, where he looked at him and he just knew. He said, "You're gonna find a place where you belong." Like he knew he knew he could read him from a minute, but he still went out of his way to like, okay, let's just talk. Let me just tell you how everything goes around. And then he's always that wise word of wisdom, that calming presence. He's always approachable, like super, super approachable. And I could relate to that because it's like he's just a warm, comforting presence. Like you can feel his warmth from the pages as you're reading him. The cheeky smile, the daggers that he's throwing, the small stature where it's like, okay, he's not that threatening, but he actually is a menace on the battlefield. Like, nah, I love him so much, and that's another one I really relate to. Just that approachableness. That's something I try to emulate.
Like that.
Amber Elise.
Okay, because the way that they combined characters and listening to their points is going to sound like a very big contradiction. But I would say Griffith in my 20s, okay, in relation to having the ambition to just go, and you're not going to stop no matter what, and you don't realize what it's doing to you and those around you because you're like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And the difference is that I didn't want to become like Griffith. I saw a lot of people who did do that, not in that extent, but you can get so caught up in trying to get X, Y, and Z and accomplish X, Y, and Z. And you get there, and then it's like more and more and more until you don't even know who you are. So I think I got to that point at one point, but then I realized I want to be nothing like that. And now I think I would like to say I relate a little bit more to Guts. I still like the ambition aspect, and Guts has that, but it doesn't consume him. And I would like to relate the most to Judo. I don't think I'm there yet, but I would like to relate to him out of all the characters.
With Judo, I would say, I think there's a lot of great aspects to his character and how he is, but I think sometimes being a Judo, people see that and take advantage of it, where they know you're willing to make that sacrifice, and they're like, you can make the sacrifice, it's fine, like you do that all the time, you know. And so there are great aspects to being that person, but then sometimes like too much of it, people take advantage.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He is very discerning, though. Like, we didn't talk about the scene where Griffith is in prison and Guts goes in to hold him, and Griffith reaches up to Guts's neck, and then Guts gets him a hug. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember that scene.
Okay. So, like, okay, Amber Elise, did you think that Griffith was trying to choke Guts in that scene?
No, but that's one of the scenes I was telling you my brother knows about, and he was asking me, did I think and I was like, I didn't get that from that, and I went back and looked. I still don't see that.
Really?
But he also saw the anime scene. I don't know if it's different in the anime.
So he reaches up, and his hand is already on Guts' shoulder, and then he shifts it to the neck, and then Guts grabs his elbow and pulls him around in a hug. So it kind of looks like that love and hate that's tangled together, that hate is what was taking over in that moment. Like, you did this to me. You're the reason I'm here right now.
Yes.
So the thing is I'm sorry, go ahead, Braga.
I was just going to say, I think it was like almost a reaction, and like seeing Guts again, the feelings that he had the last time he saw him, it just came back, and just like you said, you're the one that did this to me. I don't know if like it was thought out.
Oh yeah, it was very emotional.
Right? Yeah, it was just like, oh, this guy. There's like, oh, whoa, you know. But I think it's just like a reaction for him.
But the thing is that Judo, I agree with you. I think that it was very emotional and not necessarily what he would do with thought. But Judo noticed it, right? Like when that happened, he keyed in on Judo realizing, wait, something's happening here. And then shortly thereafter, he's telling Guts, take Casca with you. Go, leave, take her, right?
Yeah.
Yes, someone as compassionate and loyal and kind and good as Judo is the type that people would try to take advantage of, but he's discerning too. And he's aware of Griffith. And he's like, get Casca away from him, but I will stay and I'll care for him because I'm still loyal. I can't untangle my feelings either, but I can also see him for what he is and try to get Casca away. Just makes me love him even more.
Judo's great because he kind of sees what's gonna happen.
Yes.
Where like, if he's willing to do that, what else is he willing to do? And knowing how much Casca damn near worships him, how much will he try to take advantage of her? Yeah. It's just like, y'all should just get out of here. So no. Damn. Judo's Judo's more than solid.
Judo is who I want to be.
He's the GOAT.
Okay. Well, we've been here for 2 hours. Is there anything else y'all wanted to cover before we called it?
Not necessarily. I guess chat a little bit. See how the chat feels.
Chat. What else do you want to see us cover?
Yeah.
We have a couple more super chats here that I haven't grabbed yet. reading Black Swordsman first is better than chronological order because we are put in the same headspace as Guts. Don't trust anyone here. To these people are all right. That's a good point as far as Guts doesn't want to trust anyone, but then he learns to trust them only to be betrayed by them. That's a good point. I think it's extremely important to read Black Swordsman first because we have to see the Count say no. We have to see that you can deny the God Hand.
So did people...
Go ahead.
Did y'all not read the...
Oh, there's just debate over if you should read Black
okay.
Swordsman first or not because it's not as good. And so it's like, don't suffer through that. You might quit. Get to Golden.
Oh, okay.
And because I guess people might consider it spoilers. I don't know. I also think the lore is better with Black Swordsman first because, like...
Yeah, I really enjoyed it for the most part.
It was okay.
I knew you would.
I
kind of, I love the little man, the one who was deformed.
The half cannibalized man. The one that got kicked.
I loved him.
Guts was sick of him. Guts was sick of him. Don't touch me.
Oh my gosh, he's so mean to him.
I didn't show up to save him from his execution.
He came to watch.
He didn't do nothing.
He came to watch. But Guts is a big softie, though.
He is.
Yeah.
He
But one thing I like about Black Swordsman, I love Guts and Puck's.
Oh,
dynamic.
that
so
too.
good.
I love
man.
Puck.
Early
I love
Puck is
Puck.
the best, man.
Puck is great,
the
man.
best, man.
Love me some Puck.
Great sense of
Also,
humor.
At the end of Golden Age, I'm looking back at Black Swordsman and I'm just like, everything's so much more depressing now. Now I know why he's so moody. Now I know why he doesn't want anyone near him. Now I know why he's going on a hunt for all of these, for the Count who ate some of his people.
Yes, the way we see them like come back, but we already saw them. It was really, it makes, I was saying that even the first panel when the people were leaving comments on my video saying like, that one that Corcus was with was the one in the, so it makes it less, it makes it like, oh, this is actually kind of in respectfully
kind of wild
powerful.
Just having sex with her.
Well,
like, why you gotta do that before you kill her?
It makes it like the fact that he's killing the person who killed one of his people.
Yeah,
it makes it, it's just insane the way it unravels.
Yeah, you understand Guts and him just pushing people away before they get hurt.
Yeah,
like he knows it's inevitable. He's like, don't get. So he's, instead of saying don't be around me, he's like, I'm just gonna be this moody, this difficult person to be around. So you just naturally you don't want to be around me, and Puck doesn't care.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Skullface did say that the Skull Knight did say that Guts might have, and that's what Guts calls him, that Guts might have some elf history there, and so that seemed like intentional. So it seems like there is a reason that Puck is drawn to Guts. I think Judo was asking Guts to take Casca because he was going to put Griffith out of his misery. Whoa. He probably saw Griffith wouldn't be able to see his vision through. You thought? Did y'all think that?
I can see
now
that.
I do.
Now I can see
Judo doing that. I can see Judo doing that.
Because out of kindness, yeah.
Oh, never even considered it.
That's such a difficult decision to make for Judo.
Yeah.
Because it's a decision that Guts and Casca they would never make. And so then you gotta live with eventually, like you meet again, like, hey, this is what had to happen. And you just gotta deal with those emotions.
I agree that that's something that Judo was capable of.
Yes.
Like, Judo's strong. I could see him, if he really thought that that was the right call, I could see him doing it.
Oh my gosh, that just makes it even better.
You're like, Judo would have killed Griffith.
Oh, killed Griffith?
Judo would have pulled Casca. Judo would have killed Griffith. Judo is that guy. If he would have just had the chance.
Yeah, he would have. I can see that. I like that. I like that perspective, actually.
That is great.
I do too. That's something that I never would have considered.
But that's Judo, like, damn, again, put himself to the side and kind of.
Oh, that's him. That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's him.
What do you think will be the ethnicity or nationality of our main cast?
For Berserk live action?
I'm sorry, I didn't pre-read that one.
I was like ethnicity, main cast. I mean, I think Casca would be Dominican. I think Guts
They would go for
it. Hey, listen, it's interesting. I don't know. Griffith is obviously like what, Russian?
Obviously.
Yeah, Russian, maybe French, but the silver hair is given Russian. I don't know.
There you go. You got Jay's take on that.
Casca being Dominican is sending me.
Or from Trinidad, one or the other, Caribbean or yeah.
Take it. All right.
The first
Trinidad.
expression, Griffith's first expression was when Guts was fighting on the other side. He was fighting for the other side. And then he was watching Guts fight. I don't remember what his expression was in that scene though.
What was his expression?
The first expression in Black Swordsman?
Black Swordsman, right?
Oh, in Black Swordsman. Well, sure. He was already, but he had already surrendered himself at that point. I feel like we go backwards and we see his humanity in the Golden Age.
Yeah.
I think Berserk is a story about recovery. It's a long, hard road, but the end of Golden Age is the beginning of that road. The development of the main cast into the later chapters is beautiful.
Oh.
Y'all agree with that?
Recovery.
Can you put it back up really quickly?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
See, I can see it from where I am now. Where I am now, Guts is still Angry Boy. But I can see it at the end of Golden Age because, the messaging of struggle on, struggler is very much like life is going to hurt sometimes. And we keep moving, we keep pushing forward and we struggle on. And obviously that's not a comforting message, but it's real. Yeah. And I think that a lot of Guts' story already has been recovery from the rape that was looming over him his entire life, and recovery from everything that his father did to him. And you don't shake that off, but we've watched him begin his recovery. So, I see it. I can't speak to beyond where I am, but I see it.
Yeah. Thinking about recovery is I think that's fair. But it just makes you think about Guts' struggle and everything he's been through. And it's just it's sad.
Oh, yeah. Casca too, though. I'm depressed for where she was left off as well.
No, very depressing for Casca. I think it's different now because it's just Guts has to deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has to deal with on top of that.
He has to deal with that.
Yeah. She's a reminder.
Oh,
where one, it's tough for her because it's almost like a new character.
Yeah.
Almost, right? But Guts remembers
everything. Who she was before, all the strength, the will, all of that gone.
How she was
gone.
Insanely strong. He saw her when she was vulnerable, when she was on her period, and how she got out of that. And then even after an interaction with Guts, she started being a bit more feminine. I think Judo pointed that out. She's like, something's changed about Casca. Not really sure, but she's different now.
Yeah.
So all those experiences that Guts saw and the transformation, and to see her the way she is now, it's and he was there.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I think that thinking about it from her perspective, though, she's been so violently harmed that she's regressed to essentially a childlike state. But clearly she remembers it, getting under the waterfall, trying to clean herself. She doesn't, it's kind of like the body keeps the score kind of thing, But then also on top of that, what happens after she's regressed to this childlike state? She's still afraid of men. So there's something there still. Then she is locked in a cave not allowed to leave, doesn't understand why. She goes through this horrific miscarriage, clings to her child like Shisu clung to Guts, can't even keep that. And then is re-traumatized by one of her caretakers, you know, when she spills the soup on herself and Guts rips open her shirt and then tries to kiss her, and then she's like, you know, freaking out. It's like it's not like she's erased. She's still suffering. She just can't communicate her suffering. And she's still going through trauma, but she's locked in a cage.
Almost like feeling away and not remembering why you feel this way.
It's horrifying.
If you feel that way already, then I would suggest you read to the end.
Oh.
Yeah, I suggest you read to the end. If you're already thinking that, I would suggest you get to the end, or if you don't want to read anymore, just let me know. I'll take you to where you need to go.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. I won't say anything more. I'd also make an argument. I don't really think it's a story about recovery. If you continue reading on, one of the biggest issues that I have with Miura is just Guts grows, but it's always struggle. There's rarely any recovery or any chance to recover. It's just struggle. Like, especially with Casca, like watching Casca throughout this. And again, I want to say this loosely because obviously you guys haven't read this far ahead, but it just doesn't give me recovery. I don't get recovery from the theme of it. And maybe like it all depends on the reader, right? So that's fair. But for me, it more represents just pain and damnation and struggling. Like, struggle really is the main thing that comes to my mind versus recovery throughout this.
It's definitely struggle.
Yeah,
it's definitely struggle throughout. But I think what I enjoy the most is like the bright spots through the struggle. Is the fact that it keeps going, and then there are moments for him that it's like you start to see some light and certain characters that are presented, and I'm just like, they're beautiful characters for Guts and his recovery. But there definitely is more struggle.
See, Jay's point, I was going to say, Jay's point that's why I'm nervous to continue, because this story, I don't think I mentioned it in my video, but it reminds me so much of the book A Little Life, which I finally read last year. And there were just aspects. It's a very popular story, but it gets a lot of flack for how there's just a lot of trauma in there. And the story started off really strong to me. There is a lot in there, but I didn't see understand people's complaints. That by the end of it, I was like, okay, and not giving any spoilers because some people may see things as, you know, positive. But for me, I just was exhausted by the end of it. And I feel like I'm going to get that with Berserk. And just to Jay's point, that's why I feel like I'm kind of like, I don't know. But it's not that I don't need a story to be happy all the time. It's just, I don't know. I need to see like some direction, like a direction that's just not heaviness. Even if, I don't know if that makes sense.
So there is, yeah. Go ahead, Brago.
Jay,
I was going to say, go ahead, Jay.
So there's definitely direction, and I know some people in the chat disagree with me saying that it is about recovery. I'd say there's moments in there where you get a reprieve. There is a lot of there's moments of reprieve and like rest stops within the story, but recovery isn't something that I see as a theme because it's more of the direction that they're all going in. Throughout all of Berserk, there is a direction that you're gonna follow, and along the way you're gonna meet another character like Judo, like very similar to Judo. Murphy, you already know, I think you've met Sir Pico. You've met Sir Pico, right?
Pico.
Sir Pico. In Conviction.
Maybe.
Okay, so you're not there.
Oh,
you're
Pretty
not
Boy. Are you talking about Pretty Boy?
Yes, him.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I met him.
Yeah, so I forgot you never remember names. But like there's gonna be a lot of really, really good things coming up, Amber, that are like there is a direction, there is reprieve, there are moments that are going to warm your heart, and you're going to look at it like, wow, I needed to see this to keep going. Because if I didn't see it, I'm done. Like, I'm actually done. So like, but there is direction 100%.
A weird thing is that it's dark going forward, but because of the struggle, because of how dark it is, those bright spots, oh man,
They hit.
they hit.
There's that tavern scene. Oh, it's such a sweet moment. I don't know if you got that far, Brago, but there's a tavern scene. Just
Cracks in the
bunch of people
blade.
around. Yeah, and you just smile.
So
You
yeah,
just smile.
it's a lot of moments that, and then in a weird way, Guts kind of becomes light for a lot of characters, even in the midst of his darkness. So, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that note, Amber Murphy, you're in the muck. Might as well sink in at this point. Crazy way to say it, but that's being a struggler.
There it
Very
is. Just
convincing.
just struggle through
Very
it like
convincing
Guts.
argument.
Yes.
You're already depressed. Just be depressed some more.
That's it.
Yeah, and I still want to make it like I'm glad y'all said it that way, because it's not I don't need a story to be happy. I read so many depressing stories. I just don't want it to be empty. I hope that clarifies what I'm saying. Like, and there's some stories where I've just felt like it was just an empty
It's
situation.
dark.
So here's what I was going to say to the people that say it is kind of about a recovery. The reason why I know recovery implies like a happy ending. And I think the concept of what the brand that's on Guts and Casca does not imply recovery, because it's, if you look at it's spoilers. Oh my God, I can't go there. I'm actually upset. Upset because it's because then I talk about the Skull Knight, and the Skull Knight is a massive part of the feature story, like huge. Like, he is like this mysterious man that just drops a ton of lore and then vanishes again. Like, that's his whole role throughout the story. But like, once you delve into the Skull Knight, you see the journey that Casca and Guts are going on, and then you're seeing that it's really always going to be a struggle. Like, everything is a struggle, but it's about how you forge your path against the obstacles that you have for the rest of your life. And that's why struggle to me is like the struggler, Guts the struggler. Like, it's just something that he's going to do the entire time. And I don't think he's ever going to recover from struggling. It's just that he's the greatest struggler we have ever seen.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
It's so difficult because, like, sometimes, and to not give away spoilers, there are things that helps Guts and make him so happy, and then it hurts him at the same time because it helps him. Yeah,
we have one that says, I think that if the tone remained that bleak constantly, I would have dropped it, but I think the story shows that there's still joy that can be found in the struggling.
Yes, and there are some moments that are A1. Just it warms your heart. Really, really warms your heart.
Okay.
And a lot of people are talking about Cracks in the Blade and how incredibly meaningful that chapter is. Do y'all know, just Jay and Brago, do y'all know off the top of your head how far in that chapter is?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure the chat knows. But Cracks in the Blade. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when.
What chapter is Cracks in the Blade, y'all?
Okay, that's all right. I'm sure someone in the chat will know as well. Yeah, I think if Amber Alise, I mean, I've already continued, but if Amber Alise and I get much further, then we will for sure. The chat has been what? Sorry, I clicked on it, and then as soon as I clicked on it, I started reading it, and I was like, oh no. Claire, this has been a chat that has been great for processing the arc.
Oh my god!
I gotta stop clicking them before I pre-read them.
The tears.
You read the one about the guy that said Cracks in the Blade helped him get off a roof?
Mm-hmm. I put that on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's That's amazing.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Wow.
Mhm.
hmm
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It is that
Shout
type
out
of
to,
story.
shout out to you,
I would
Ben.
not-
Yes.
yeah, honestly, it is that type of
Yeah.
story. I'm not surprised.
129
Happy you're here,
is
Ben.
Cracks in the Blade.
Me too.
Yeah.
They're saying 129.
Okay,
Oh.
well, I'm on 125.
Oh, so
Ooh.
you're close.
They're right there.
It's at the end of Conviction. So
Yeah.
Make a note of that.
All right. I guess that gives me motivation to read past the horse.
Yeah, just get past the horse.
yeah. I was about to say that horse is
Mhm.
Despicable.
But if you got through it, Murphy, and you're not cool with it, but you're moving forward, maybe I'll at least get to what
Struggle
you're
through.
talking about.
Listen,
Nobody's
I'm
cool
not
with the horse. Amber.
I'm not telling
I'm telling
anybody
you,
to read
nobody.
this series.
None of
Everyone
us
has to make that choice themselves.
None of us here are cool with the horse. I'm just gonna tell you that now. I'm just
Nah.
like, all right, man. That horse is the problem.
It is wild too. That's exactly what I said.
It is.
Oh
Exactly
God.
what I said.
It's literally wild too, dog. It's actually like, all right, man. I don't even know why he was here. Like, I don't even know why we needed the
Wild
horse.
2
Like, we
means
didn't even-
worse or not as bad?
No, not worse.
He's not as bad
Okay.
as Wild,
Okay. Okay.
but Wild, yeah.
I think it's just like
Oh, we
more
didn't
out of
talk
place
about
than Wild.
It is. It's
It's
so
it's more out of place than Wild.
it's
you know.
so unnecessary. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's the shtick. It's just this is what I do. Here we go. Here's another one.
Boom.
Anyway, good place to end the stream on. This has been a great chat. This has been a great way of processing Golden Age, and I don't know. It's a story. I mean, it's flawed. I don't think it's perfect, but it's a story that's unbelievably deep. So it's nice to be able to chat in real time with people about it.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think even the guy that mentioned judo in that perspective.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go back and like,
Yeah.
see, is it, just to look at it again. So I think this is definitely valuable, especially with Berserk. Like, it's like a support group.
Yes.
to kind of get through this. So no, this is good.
No, yeah, thank you for putting it together. And Brago and Jay, it was awesome hearing your takes. And I really love when people open my mind to certain things because I'm very stuck in what I believe. So it was nice. And the chat is awesome. Like they always,
The chat was great.
yeah,
That was great.
yeah, provide a lot of
That's the chat.
context. So
Well, thank you all for joining. Make sure to check out if there's anyone that was a part of this conversation that you don't already follow. Everybody's linked in the description. Everybody's linked in the title. So please check everybody out. Give them a subscription. Watch through their videos. They have tons of content. Thank you all for joining. Is there anything that any of you wants to? Do you guys want to shout out anything that you have coming up?
No. Sub to Murphy, like the video, like the stream, so more people can enjoy it. And yeah.
yeah, likewise.
Echoed. I got a video essay on Awashi, the sports manga, soccer manga coming out. And then right after that, I'll be doing a Berserk video on Golden Age to follow
nice.
Amber and Alise, Amber and Murphy's footsteps. So yeah,
I have started to write a script on Griffith.
Hey!
Oh,
We got more
okay.
Berserk content
Okay.
coming.
I
Okay.
love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. Well, hopefully we'll be able to do one of these again in the future. And we'll see everybody later. Bye.
Bye.
Out.